There's that. And then where to go? Where to go? And
The
boom.
following program falls within the listed fair use categories. This program includes reviews and critiques of various products, movies, and works of art, incorporates humorous and satirical content, features clips and content used for reporting current events, and uses content for educational purposes. It is designed to be transformative, providing original commentary, critique, and educational value, and does not negatively impact the market for the original works.
What I mean is, can you be scary? Oh! What do you think of this?
Let's talk about blockbuster movie news, indie films that you can use, wacky games and lightning round. Can you guess the secret sound? Wrestling stars before our eyes, comic book promo ties. Whammy makes a save, but who will show? Nobody knows. Time to shine, ready to go. It's Super Sunday. Sunday. Wrap up. That's what we're talking about. It's Super Sunday. Wrap up. That's what we're talking about. It's Super Sunday. Wrap up. Wrap up. That's what we're talking about.
I've got one that can see.
So just confirm with everybody, Charles. We all know that was that was one of your first PSAs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with the the whole safety in the 90s of the internet, they decided that was good. You did good. You did really good.
Thank you.
Warren,
Had to dye my hair for that.
Yes, but you nobody knows how committed you really are. You're right up there.
If I'm working, I'm pretty method.
Yes,
I just don't really work that much.
Yeah, Charles Day Lewis. That's how they refer to you in the biz, if you will. So
get passed around through all the executives. Once I turned 17, though, nobody wanted me.
Man, we got ourselves a nice little Seth Rogen affair going on right here. This quite the sausage party. That's what it is.
Yes, it is.
Hopefully, I know 76 can't make it today. There's some sort of familial engagement going on that she's got to prepare for, but she's here in spirit. Okay, so
Gray's traveling too.
Yeah. Oh, Gray's not going to be here. That'll be interesting.
That's right. That is right. He is traveling.
Yeah. But they'll be here in spirit, and I'll do my best, Gray, which isn't good. And we will soldier onward with today's show. Good morning, Warren. Good to see you're still up.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm fine.
How was League last night?
Oh, it was good. Can't complain.
I also stayed up a little bit late. Got together with a couple of buddies, and we talked some wrestling last night. We debuted Pro Wrestling Streamers. You can go to my YouTube channel and find it there, a recap of it. We did about 70 minutes, maybe, talking about the previous night's events. That's what we did. We recapped everything there. Want to see the logo again? There it is. Yeah.
What? You were live? Is that?
We were live. Yes, last night.
Oh, you should have told me.
Yeah. And then we got that thing too. But we're not doing that right now. We're doing Super Sunday. Oh my goodness. We had one person viewing and now they're gone.
You son of a bitch.
Yes. We didn't get to show them the Cavalrine.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Spoiler warning.
No spoiler warnings here. No.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie by now, you're an asshole.
I took my son to see it yesterday. So
well, that's pretty close to being an asshole. That's like right
yeah,
at the border
yeah,
there.
Yeah, he just made it. So
they were you know what? We missed out on the popcorn buckets. So
I meant to get one too.
Yes. That's what she said. So yeah, it was quite the busy week. Quite quite the busy week we had going on. We've got a few things on here.
Oh yeah.
We got the return of Haktua TV. We'll be talking about her again. We've got a promo for Stunning Adventures, the same one you've seen before. We know what's new for DVD this week. There's a few things out. We're going to talk about the Cavil in Wolverine and how that ruins Henry Cavill for being Wolverine in the MCU proper. It also points out that Feige has no excuse when it comes to recasting T'Challa, but that's not my fight. Batman Cave Crusader came out this week, and I got to see one episode. Have you guys seen that?
I have, and I can go a little bit in depth about this because I have some things to say about this freshly new animated series that has been released on Amazon.
Yeah, and I've got some of the headlines there, so we'll do headlines with that and see what the entertainment industry thinks you should believe.
Absolutely.
No.
I mean, if they don't tell you, how are you supposed to know?
Absolutely, yeah. What's that sound? We're going to play that again this week. We're going to listen to some sounds and try to guess to see what they are. And if you're right, you get a point. We're also going to go over the 3 movies that came out in theaters that people will kind of talk about.
Well, there's a little noise behind one of them. It won't come in first, but it's causing a bit of a fuss in movie YouTube.
And we'll definitely lean on Charles for that one. And I didn't have a graphic for it because I was just able to wedge it in. But we'll be talking Cheese Girl and cast or character. We'll talk about whether or not Robert Downey Jr.'s casting is about the character or about name recognition of the actor.
Oh, perfect! Because
Yes.
I got a lovely, lovely theory I would love to share here about this.
Absolutely. And
Great
we'll
topics.
find out that we're old as well.
I
So
told you that without a board.
Yeah. Christ. I hope we land on that first. I kind of want to see what that's all about.
well, yeah, let's find out what that's all about. And where is it? Where is it? It always disappears on me. There it is.
We love topics for today. We love topics here to stay. We love topics make my day. We love topics Super Sunday. Now it's time to spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
So one of the great things about, and we'll learn this with Cheese Girl, is that AI music has made strides over the past week. And we don't cover AI music a whole lot here, but we get to hear some of it. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Let's give this a spin.
Do you have the paid platform, Rosales? Is that how the music is so clear?
No, actually I don't.
Oh, in memory of Gray not being here this week, let's start with a promo. How perfect.
I need that velvety voice of Gray.
Promo time. I can only do this. This is the only thing I can do to boost it. Promo time. Other than that, his dulcet tones are just super duper phenomenal.
Oh my God.
But
amazing.
This past week, we debuted our very first full-grown comic book that we started off with. We did the 4-part limited series with My Frankenstein. That's how we started the whole thing in 22. And now we have a 6-part series that is a anthology of superhero stories that kind of combine together into one great stunning adventure, laying out the foundation for the superhero universe of the Rosales comics. And that's what you'll get when you go to globalcomics.com and search up Rosales Comics. There's a link in the description on the YouTube and possibly on Rumble. We're on Rumble. Say hi to Rumble, guys.
Hi, Rumble.
Hello, Rumble.
We are on Rumble this morning.
Hi.
Yeah, there you are, Warren.
Hi. Love it. But let's get back to the promo.
Sweet, sweet candy and name nice.
So yeah, it's out on Global Comics right now. The very first issue. They'll be coming out bi-monthly, and we're going to finish out. Look at that. Pop says, I'm watching SummerSlam right now, so I have to avoid spoilers today. SummerSlam is on the wheel, so but we haven't got to it yet. So hopefully that'll be the last thing for you.
Get your
because
bets in.
I think, let's see, the show sometimes runs 3 hours, so you might be able to get it all in.
Yeah, maybe.
You skip the in-between parts and the promos and just go straight to the matches. You've got a good shot of beating it. So it's glad to have you there, Pops. Really
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
Glad
Always,
to have you there.
always nice to have Pop.
Enjoy the program. Lots of surprises. I know I was surprised at least 4 times. But oh, that music, this music right here.
Yeah.
You were worried about whether or not the AI was spouting out something, and that made me nervous. So I had to go to Google Translate, and this is not on the wheel, but we're going to do it anyway because it segues to it so well. But I wound up getting all of the lyrics together and matching them with the song as best I could. So I still could be wrong. But here's the full song with all of the dialogue. Okay, here we go. And I've got subtitles on here so that you can see it. Have a look.
That
I like-
first image that accompanied the word kiss was haunted.
Yeah, that whole thing was haunted. If anybody has a fear of clowns, they are shitting themselves right now.
You
First off,
cannot put real live action video with an AI song. It has to be AI images and AI animated images. So I had some fun there, and I thought to myself, how could I punch this up a little bit? Oh, I know. I remember that scene from The Exorcist where he shot that demon face right up in there a couple of times, a few 2 or 3 frames at a time, and that really just spooked people. And I thought, I can do the same thing in this Candy video.
yeah.
Yeah, see, it's AI knows it's a commentary on society and how much we treat candy like an addiction, just much like it's we do with drugs. So we eventually become slaves to the system.
Yeah. So that song doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No,
It's
I
deep
almost liked
you-
it better when I didn't know what it was talking about.
candy, just candy.
Where it's kind of like Spanglish. You hear 2 or 3 words in English, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is
Yes.
fun. This is fun. You
I
know?
I heard cotton candy when the word cotton candy was on there.
Yeah. Until then, you couldn't identify it. But, and I wasn't just going through the randomly phonetically spelling stuff either. So yeah, that was promo time. What do you say we spin the wheel again, guys?
Yeah, please.
Warren, do you have any final thoughts about Cotton Candy zombie clowns?
I mean, I don't know. I don't. Sorry. Yeah, no.
Pop, pop.
Exactly.
All right.
That was
Okay, here we go.
completely AI, even like the still images.
Yes. Yes, the still
Some of
images.
it's pretty good.
Hey, it's the garlic phone. We get to play a game really early on. Promos and games and no topics.
My eyes aren't awake yet.
Oh, you don't want to do it? You want to save that for later?
Oh, I was just being I was leaning into the we're old people. I'm no. If you want to wait, maybe somebody else will show up.
Yeah. Okay. I'll leave it off the wheel till somebody else shows up, and
It's
then
a bit
we'll
more fun when there's more people.
absolutely.
But I'm just one person. I'm merely a guest. So if everybody else wants to do it now,
I would agree with Charles. I second the
Everybody
motion.
counts. So just like every vote counts.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what they say when they're packing the ballots. Anyway, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Holy smokes. Let me do this real quick while we're doing that. Portions of this program fall within the list.
Come on. Yes, theaters.
Theaters. Awesome. I got something for that. This will help me get ready. Where is it? What did I do with it?
Oh.
Oh, come on. What is wrong with you all?
Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Roll them trailers, Joe. Find that popcorn popping with a fizzy soda splash.
So we got a few things happening at the movies this week. Which if it hadn't come after the Wolverine re-debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, probably would have made a whole lot more. I don't know how much money it made, but it would have had a lot more attention. A father and his teenage daughter attend a pop concert, only to realize they've entered the center of a dark and sinister event. We don't have a trailer for it because I don't want to get slapped. But yeah, that debuted this weekend all across the U.S. of A. So did Harold and the Purple Crayon, which it's like he wants to be the theatrical version of Mr. Rogers.
well, that movie's taking a bath right now. So.
Actually, it's actually more like he doesn't want to have a career in acting anymore.
Yeah,
That's what it seems to
that's
me.
closer to it, I would say.
Oh man, I can't wait to see him and Nicolas Cage on the same screen.
Nicolas Cage actually makes money somehow.
Yeah.
He does. He does. Him and Eric Roberts, man, they are sitting pretty. Yeah. You laugh, but you get them two names on one card, and it's making money.
Absolutely.
It's also getting produced, if you can say that you're attaching them. And for $1,500, you can have them look at the script and actually put it out there in the trades that they are interested, and you're in negotiations with them. So you might be able to get the money to pay them before they actually even finish reading the script. But you got to pay them to read the script. That's how they filter out people like me. Anyway, filmmakers like me.
Not me.
Kneecap is out as well. I don't know anything about that. When fate brings Belfast teacher JJ into the orbit of self-confessed low-life scum, Naois. What kind of name is that?
They look Irish. Liam,
So it's like
it's
like
certainly across the pond, that's for sure.
I would say
Source.
that was Noise.
Maybe it's Norse.
Yeah, it could be like Shorsha, Norsha. It's almost spelled like Shorsha spelled, but
Saoirse Ronan.
yeah, I don't
or whatever.
know.
Anyway, Liam OG. The needle drops on a hip hop act like no other. My cold reads are horrible. That's why I don't get the work.
Where's Gray?
Rapping in their native Irish. Oh, good Lord.
Oh, it is Irish.
Oh.
They lead a movement to save their mother's tongue. Does the cat have it?
Oh, so it's the House of Pain origin story.
Yes.
Yeah. If we had a random Cole, he might be able to tell us more about that. But
I don't even
yeah,
know
if you know
this would
anything
even
about it,
be
if
in
you're
the
watching out
radar.
there and you've seen this movie this weekend, maybe early on a Friday or late on a Saturday in an empty theater, if you had a private screening, let us know in the comments, and we'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this movie called Kneecap. Because when you hear the phrase kneecap, you automatically think Irish rap. So
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's immediately.
there was
where
a
my
term
mind
for
went.
Irish rap.
That might be it. Yeah, that's right. It's from the south of England for like 3 seconds. So there's that. Pops is still watching SummerSlam, so he can't be of any use for that conversation. But yeah, what have you got you got any updates on that particular weekend? The weekend so far?
So Kneecap is not registering. I don't know how many theaters it's in. But Trap is it's not coming in first. That's
Oh.
foregone concluded.
Mhm.
But it is fighting for second right now. As of Friday, it is in second with 6.7, just ahead of Twisters, which has 6.5 on Friday. It's going to be close. Twisters may leapfrog it.
Twister has got some legs, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that or not, but
Well,
Yes.
do you have? I don't know if this would be for theater or DVD. They just announced that Twisters will be on streaming by August 10th, I think, and people are
How long was the theatrical run, Charles?
So the funny thing is Universal has a sweetheart deal ever since COVID. They can go to streaming on 17 days if it makes under 50 million, but it did make 81 on its opening weekend, 50 million opening weekend. It made 81, so it can't do that. But it can go to 30 days, which it opened internationally the 11th. So August 10th is their first day that they can bring it to streaming, and they're bringing it to streaming. They don't want to mess around with Deadpool and Wolverine. They want to get their money somewhere else. So it's just bad news for the theater industry. It's
bad for the theater industry because the longer a movie's out at the theaters, the
They
better
make
it is
more
for
money.
the theaters,
Right.
and less money goes to the production houses. God, I'm so old.
So when they have this type of sweetheart deal, Charles, do they pull the movie from theaters when it hits streaming, or do they keep it running simultaneously for like an extra week to try and get a couple extra bucks before taking it down?
That's on the theaters to choose, because because the Fall Guy famously was on streaming on that 17-day window. 17 days later, you could watch the Fall Guy streaming, but in theaters, it was still registering in the top 10. It was still making like 5-6 million a weekend when it was, you could watch it at home, and it was still doing, not great, but decent. So it's up to the theaters because they're the ones who are benefiting from that. But they're essentially competing with the home market. And
There's a small sliver of people who will surf, and they'll go to the Voodoo app or whatever app it is where they're choosing to purchase a movie for the evening. And there's a section that they usually says still in theaters,
yeah,
and they have these movies there, and they kind of surf the theater on their home DVR, going, "Huh, do I really want to go out and see this, or do I want to watch it right here?" You know what? It's a big production. They've got a better sound system than I got. I've got 2.0. They've got 5.7 surround sound, Dolby,
water
Atmos,
squirting in your
whatever.
face.
Yeah, riveting chairs. Sensa surround sound ultra, and the theater's going to be empty because everyone's going to be watching it at home. Let's sit in the middle of the theater and enjoy it at its max, and then they'll go out and they'll buy the tickets, and the theaters are like, "Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you."
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's always movies. I would think people who especially love movies are always going to want to see it in a theater experience first. But it seems kind of crazy when you have these deals like Charles was mentioning, where you have a 17-day window and your movie's just on streaming. While, like he said, with the Fall Guys, the example, where it's still in theaters making money, but you could watch it at home too. To me, when that happens, like, what's the incentive, to go to the movies at that point?
Well,
Because it's going to cost you more to go to the movies than it is to pay the $20 to rent or $20 to buy at home.
I do have popcorn. I do have soda at home. I don't have a Lazy Boy recliner. So
is a Lazy Boy worth that much to you?
It got me back to see Deadpool again.
I mean, if that's the case, you could probably save up 3-4 movie trips and buy a decent recliner.
Wow, he's got a point.
I got no room for that. Plus, I wouldn't be the one sitting in it.
Yeah,
save up 10 movie trips and get a house.
Yeah, 10 movie trips, and you got a down payment on a new house.
You can't afford gas? Buy an electric car. Come on, man. It's $50,000. We'll give you $5,000. We'll give you a $5,000 incentive. No joke. Honest.
I mean, it's almost. I feel like the theater industry is going to end up having to incentivize people to come in because it seems like it's getting worse and worse for them.
I don't know about you guys, but I talked to a lot of like full-time movie YouTubers and just movie fans, and it seems like the theater industry,
all the time, every day, every hour, we're talking to movie YouTubers. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Where was I? So a lot of people are kind of losing their faith because the phones at the theaters are the kids today. Let me sound like an old grandpa right now. They're bringing their phones up and just totally ruining the experience. Theaters are going to have to like either use wander bags or something like they do at comedy clubs and music events, or be a bit stricter about. I think it was you, Bob, a couple of weeks ago where we talked about paying a higher price to not have phones, where the theater can enforce rules a bit stronger, and people might pay it just to not be like Rosales was just saying. If I knew the theater was empty, I'd really kind of enjoy that, just having the theater to myself, and So if you pay extra and know that you're guaranteed no sort of muckety muck, people will pay that. So it's an interesting time. Theaters are going to have to do more than just make expensive popcorn to make their money.
100%, because you're completely right. Because I mean, I know it's on the topic, but Deadpool and Wolverine, I mean, that comes out. I can't tell you within the first hour of that movie coming out how many cell phone videos on TikTok there were showing spoilers and whatnot and this and that. Now, I'm a person that doesn't bother me if I see a spoiler for a movie.
I don't really consider you a person, Bob.
Well, thank you. That's why this works out great for me. So since I'm not recognized as a human being, those type of things don't bother me. But I know, obviously, people who are hyped for a movie like of that caliber, want to go in blind, don't want to have the movie spoiled. And it's hard when, especially in a day and age today, when pretty much everyone's either on Twitter, X, and TikTok. It's like trying to navigate a minefield to avoid a spoiler these days. And
My house has a TikTok and Timu ban,
Ooh.
so none of that stuff in this
Well,
house.
never mind the hour side of things, like the spoilers in the theater. This is years ago, but when I saw Annihilation, which is a very like heady movie, it's a sci-fi, like
Mhm.
it's something you really want to focus on. We had a girl in front of us who would like film herself, and her hand is like the row in front of me. She's got her hand up and she's doing this, so the phone is like shining in my eyes right in front of the screen, and it's like, can you not do that, please? So that's like
Yeah.
at the theater, people are making their TikTok videos and their Instagram pictures. And
Exactly.
It's like, dude, what
I
are you
would have had a
doing?
new phone. I would have had a new phone.
What do you mean you would have a new phone?
Did you ever see that video? Somebody's hanging their phone out of the window of the train, and they're filming how beautiful everything is. And in the middle of the video, out of a bush, a hand comes up and grabs the phone, and this guy turns around and goes, "Ooh, iPhone, nice!" And he stole it from the person who was getting their shot. You know,
Oh, okay. So you would have been the guy in the bush, is what you're saying.
absolutely. I would, if I wasn't going to enjoy the movie, I was going to enjoy a new electronic. But
I mean,
Finders keepers.
That's a terrible experience to have.
It is.
When you're paying that much money, when you're paying $20 a ticket, and if you have if God forbid you have a family of four that you're taking to the fucking movies, because now
Yeah.
you're $20 a ticket plus concessions, which are
You're
marked
clearing
up
$100.
500%.
Yeah.
Easily, and then you
Mhm.
have to sit there for 2+ hours, and like Charles said, you have. And again, this is mostly towards younger people, not to
Yeah.
sound like the old man yelling
No,
at clouds on my
right.
lawn, but this is 100% true. It's younger people that don't have a sense of, like, I don't know, anyone
Decency?
else in the world around
Right.
them except for them.
we should hear from Warren about this.
Yeah, Warren, I know you have plenty of experience with being loud in a theater, so let us know what you
The
think.
Gen Z perspective.
Oh, Gen Z, yeah, right. I just think
Yeah.
that you should. I mean, it really depends on where you sit too, because I always pick seats where I know someone's not gonna be putting that stuff
Mhm.
in my face. But it's just I don't know. It's the same kind of thing I say about like phones now in the gym. Like you can't even walk through a gym now, and you walk through, you could be potentially on someone's TikTok or something. I think TikTok in itself is more of a detriment in society than anything, because more people are doing things like they're crossing the street with doing a TikTok and get hit by a car, or they're doing. So I think it's a thing of TikTok and the obsession of that, and being, getting the likes and all that stuff. But for the movies, I think you should adhere to the rules, because like I believe every movie, regardless, it's like turn off your phones. So like if I see someone and they're doing that, I'd be like, hey bro, you need to turn off your phone. Like, I'm not wrong. Like, what are you gonna tell me? I'm wrong?
Yeah. Mind your own business.
Yeah, it's becoming a thing where people will probably join in with you. People would like to be polite and not tell somebody to put their phone down, but if they hear somebody else do it, they'll join that person's side, like, yeah, put the fucking thing away.
And then
Well,
you have the
apologize.
you have the distinct possibility of them working in tandem. I'm going to hold my phone up and disrupt this whole thing while my buddy is filming me doing it, so
Yeah.
that when somebody gets up and gets in my face about it, they're the ones who are going to be in the wrong on TikTok, because
Just
we're
a
going to
prank,
edit
bro.
that's 17. Yeah, relax. It's a prank, bro. It's a prank, bro. Why are you arresting me for breaking into this car? It's a prank. It's just a prank. I would have brought it back. It's a prank.
It's a fake knife. I stabbed him with a fake knife.
Yeah, not a steak knife. It's a fake knife.
Great world.
The views expressed by the panel do not necessarily reflect those of the streaming platforms or show. Da-da-da-da. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, there's the wheel again, guys.
Oh shit.
Let's see what happens.
Spin.
We've been infusing the old people one into all of our things so far. Oh,
It's on the line, but it goes to Deadpool and Wolverine.
Spoilers ahead if you are poor.
or not on TikTok.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, so
You
Yes.
haven't?
no, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see it Thursday.
They weren't
you-
showing it at the gym?
No. I was just been busy. That's all.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Warren,
I'd hate to
take your
spoil stuff
headphones
for
off.
you.
Oh,
I'd hate to spoil things for you.
cold-blooded.
But that's the particular topic right here. Is we'll see in about 5 minutes for. These are the jokes, folks. These are the jokes. Okay.
Plug your ears, Warren. Plug your ears.
Yeah. Take a nap. This will be Warren in about 2 seconds.
Mhm.
So
Well, I
yeah,
get blamed for it. Yes.
there's a great history in Marvel movies to put people in cameos that they never intend to move forward with. You look at John Krasinski as
But
as
did they intend to not use John Krasinski moving forward? I thought the fact that he had a bad experience kind of led to. Oh wait, maybe not. He had a bad experience, but his wife did, and that led to a bit of bad blood.
well, I don't know. I would think that he his own man, but he is his own
Well,
man
where's
and he
the
makes his own
whoosh
decision. But he is
sound
making
for?
kids films now,
Uh,
so you never know. I don't. I'm not going to impugn anybody's reputation or or talk down on anybody's ability to stay married
you'll just make
because
sound
that's the
effects.
wrong one. That's the wrong one. Look at that. There we go.
Oh. Whoosh. I'm
Where'd
not
I
going to
go?
impugn anybody. Whoosh.
No, these are the jokes, folks. These are the jokes.
I mean, I would think his cameo in that movie alone would have been a bad enough experience. Like, you had so much internet, pray, oh, we want him. This needs to be the new Reed Richards, and then everybody gets satisfied, only to be dissatisfied 5
Yay,
minutes
look,
later.
we know he's going to be in there. Look at the spoilers. Look at the internet pictures. Look at the leaks.
Yes.
That we're going to get exactly what we want. Oh my God, what'd they do to him? Spaghetti. So,
Spaghetti man.
but that's what Marvel does. Marvel is now becoming the 1990s WWE when it comes to fan satisfaction. And close your eyes, Warren. And if you're out there and you don't want a spoiler, close your eyes again. They gave you this and
Yes.
gave it enough time where you could feel good with it. And he did a fairly fine job. And
Absolutely.
they addressed it in the film itself, almost like that was an audition and an offer. But knowing full well that we've got a brand new Reed Richards and we've got a brand new Human Torch, and that the old Human Torch was in the same film as this. Spoiler alert. That it's kind of like, I'm going to give you this spoonful and then you're going to have to go hungry for the rest of your life, kind of thing. I think this pretty much seals the deal that Cavil is not coming to the MCU, especially as that character.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I kind of agree because this is everybody wanted this fan casting. So Marvel gives it to you for a 30-second scene, which is great. Everybody loved it who saw it. But the question ends up being, so what do you do with it? You teased what everybody said they wanted. Now, obviously, if he was cast as that character, he's not playing it until the end of whatever this multiverse bullshit end is, whenever this ends. So he wouldn't even be playing this character for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah.
And is it going to have the same weight then? Because if you're rebooting everything once you get to the end of your whatever fucking phase we're in now that's planned out here, hastily anyways, I just don't know where you go. You don't want to bring him in now since you're rebooting because it won't make sense. The only thing would to be done would to be bring him in after. And again, by that time, if we're 4 or 5 years away, is the sentiment of having him play that character still going to be as strong and still going to be there? Is this guy not going to have anything else to do between now and then? It's so weird. And it just seems like it seems like here's a big tease, and then we're just there. You go. You got it. We gave it to you. Fuck off.
I would make it a complete running joke and have, until they finally settle down this whole multiverse of madness crap, just have Henry Cavill show up as every Marvel character
Yeah.
one time, because they established in the Ant-Man that all Ant-Mans are Paul Rudd. They just are. Okay. And so, all of the Doctor Stranges are the same Doctor Strange guy, right? They're all Sherlock Holmes, whatever his name is.
Cumberbatch?
Gesundheit. Yes.
Yes.
The old jokes always hit. And so to throw this one random Cavill into the mix out of nowhere, it's just fan service and means absolutely zilch and nothing, because they haven't established a pattern of different people playing the same character, unless you count Thunderbolt Ross. But that's the same character. Okay, so that's a casting thing that has nothing to do with the storyline. In this case,
Correct.
it's within the storyline canon. They should have had Harry Potter playing Patch and Daniel Radcliffe, I believe.
Probably would
And-
have made more sense that way if you had multiple actors playing these multiple variants.
Yeah, that would have made a whole lot more sense. And then it's just like one of many, one of thousands. But you have this outlier in the billions upon billions of universes out there. So, Warren,
Yep.
you can open your eyes now.
Nothing was on the screen the entire time. What are you talking about?
Mm-mm.
I saw the one. I've seen that thing. The thing is, like, unless they actually confirm it, doesn't really like. When I saw Krasinski, when I saw Multiverse of Madness, I didn't go like, "Oh man, that's our new Mr. Fantastic." Unless it's confirmed, it's just whatever, right? Like when we saw Thanos at the end of the movie, we didn't know who was gonna play him. You could have guessed God knows who, like, and like, so I don't really. I mean, and I'm not.
Two actors have played Thanos, right?
I think so. I mean, also, I just take it as a grain of salt unless they confirm something. But I mean, I've heard Cavill will be. He has been in talks with the MCU plenty of times, so I think he's gonna eventually show up. I don't know what character, because he's definitely not going back to Warner Brothers for anything at the moment with DC. So I mean, like I said, grain of salt. I'm not really anyone that gets any like butthurt about it is they're delusional. That's the way I look at it.
There
I
you
think
go.
That's fair.
Yeah, let's end on butthurt.
That always ends at butthurt.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I keep undoing it. Keep undoing it. There it is. There's the overlay. That's the right one. This is the wrong one. That's the right one. Okay. Let's move on to a new topic. What say?
Let's say the wheel.
I hold punch.
We are old people.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
We
No.
are old.
Oh, okay. Before we start this topic, is it really a we are old people? Because every other like decade, like you hear before, like when I was 11 and I would watch like TV, you'd see like 31's the new 21 and 41's the new 31.
That was way too loud. Sorry. I was not trying to cut you off.
Poor
Go ahead.
Warren got the Oscar treatment.
and now we have people like doing all sorts of stuff with cosmetic to their face. So like, are we really old? Or like, is it really like? I mean,
Well, that's the
also,
question.
and
That, that,
also, the
that,
people that are younger are stupid. So does it matter if we're old? Like I just, that's the way
yes,
I look
Kamala, young people are stupid.
at it. I mean, that's just my opinion, right? With the whole old, we are like,
Well, this is all opinion right now. But let's take a look at the reason why this is a topic. Marty went from 1985 to 1955, which is like going back to 1994 today. So when Marty went back to 1955, everybody there who remembered 1955 was old.
Yes.
And everybody right now who remembers 1994 is old,
That we are.
including Elijah Woods.
I remember 1990s. Okay.
So by this logic, that's history. That's the past. That's a what do they call those movies that are in a specific timeline?
Tired?
Period pieces?
Yes, period pieces. Period.
I
mean,
don't
is it-
know.
Would 94, if you made a movie in the 90s, is that considered a period piece now? I thought
I-
period
if you-
pieces were
if
always
you-
like something like had to be in Victorian era or some bullshit like that.
No, it just has to be old.
I mean, I think it falls under it because it's like at least if it's in the 90s, it's over 20 years at this point, so it's a bit of an old movie ish.
20 used to be the cutoff time for vintage vehicles. If a car was over 20 years old, it was considered a classic car.
And 25 for the insurance purposes, yeah.
Yeah. And, the same thing went with the music. And so they, if your favorite song wound up on the oldies channel station, you're like, what's it doing there? Everybody listens to Smash Mouth, don't they?
So would we then, going by this logic, would we consider X-Men Dark Phoenix a period piece because it's set in the 90s?
If it was
Yes.
made today with that aesthetic, yes, it would be.
Yes.
Marvel's a period piece.
I mean, the Sam Raimi's movie, wasn't that like 2004 or 2000, like that? I think they're
Yeah, but it
pretty-
wasn't set
No,
in
no,
the 90s,
yeah.
though.
Right. Bob's right. The Raimi's Spider-Man, they took place modern times in that universe. They're just old. They're not
Yes.
period pieces.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about Raimi as the period piece. I'm talking about being old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, time just moves. There's nothing we
Yeah,
can do about that.
Yeah, he is just old, yes.
No,
There-
not Raimi.
There
Not
is
Raimi.
no past. There is no future. There is only now. I don't know why I did that voice for that.
I'm not talking about. Excuse me, Raimi. I'm talking about like how when I tell somebody, Toby, I think was a good Spider-Man. They're like, well, I never watched Toby, but I know Tom Holland's I'm like, yeah, he's not that bad either, but that's what I was saying. I mean, the thing is, being old, it's sad because does it really matter? Some of the older movies are better than some of the newer movies that are out now. So
Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there who don't realize they're old that now realize they're old.
Yes.
This hurts.
And,
Yeah,
that's...
this does
there's-
I mean, when did Back to the Future come out? Because I know I was,
1985.
I was a kid. Yeah, this is old for me.
Well, 1955 was ancient history. If you watched this movie back then and you saw 1955, you thought to yourself, well, he's going way, way back. I mean, we don't know anything about that time period, except for what we see in It's a Wonderful Life or whatever. And
Yeah.
you thought of it as, like the distant future, or
Could
the distant past.
Could the fact that we have a lot more documentation of things as we move on kind of take away the distance, where people had cameras and stuff, you'd be hard pressed to experience something, well, certainly nowadays, where somebody didn't have their phone out and was filming something, whereas in the 50s, not everybody had a TV back then. So
Or access to the paper.
really, I
Well,
didn't know that.
I mean, some people couldn't afford,
10
Holy
cents,
crap.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I'm not saying that
25
all.
cents,
I'm not
50
saying
cents.
all. I mean, there might have been some that, cause that. Okay, excuse me. I'm kind of piggybacking what you're saying, Charles, because at that time, like say the 50s, all you had was radio and
Yeah.
the paper, and I meant more so the radio. Like not everybody had access to the radio, right?
Right.
So you were limited to when the paper came out and when that got updated to news.
Yeah.
So,
And it was black and white TVs too. Like I think they
right.
only started doing color TV, and it was like if you had swanky money, you could afford a color TV.
Right. So
Absolutely.
So like, one person
In
filmed
the 90s?
No, in the 50s. I'm sorry.
I was confused there. I was like, my goodness.
So the JFK assassination, one person happened to be filming it in 63, but something that happened a couple of weeks ago, there are multiple perspectives of that stuff as it was happening before it was happening. And we have so many different perspectives of something that, I don't know, 30 years ago, you may not have that. You just have word of mouth. And I think it's a lot easier to keep something present in your mind if you can visualize it. Whereas, word of mouth just seems further distant. I'm not old, damn it. I'm on old.
No, I think I get what you're saying. I think that does make a lot of sense. Absolutely. Because you're right. We do have, anytime, especially in more recent modern times, anytime there is any sort of event that could be thought of as historical for this time, you're right. There are thousands of different perspectives on one thing now, because everybody has access to this type of technology, and everybody's got a camera basically. So
yeah, you could literally look it up. Like, oh, here's an experience. Whereas in the 80s, going back to the 50s, you just had Grandpa said it was really this.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, because that's my mom always used to tell me stories like that when I was a kid of how she could go to get 50 cents from her parents, and that would get her a bus ride to and from the movie theater, admission to the movie, and a popcorn and a pop.
Man.
Bullshit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, is that maybe a little exaggerated? Probably. Was it probably more like 75 cents?
Yeah, this is what 1995 looked like. Yeah. And we considered this modern at the time, in what what people wore and dressed. And sometimes they look, like some people look now. Other times they don't. They look pretty dated. So, come on.
I mean, the thing is that you could just, like you said, with the styles. And
oh, hello.
What were they doing? Oh,
they still had that.
Oh no!
What?
Well,
oh my goodness! What is all right?
Cyberswat. What type of 95 reference did you look up here, sir?
I was just looking up news. I didn't realize I was looking up
nudes.
I mean,
the wrong kind of news.
The thing is that we're gonna
look at that hair.
We're gonna be adapting. So the whole way we perceive news and time is gonna just it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that, right? Because someone, I think I'm not sure if you showed it here on your stream, Rosales, but I think we were doing a comparison or something, and then we saw kids that were in high school, but they looked like they were aged to 30 because of the way they looked. And now you look at the kids today and we're like, you look like you're 10 even though you're in high school. So it's I guess it's just error.
That makes perfect sense. It
well,
does.
The thing is that you look your age if you can't afford milk. I say that because there's hormones, growth hormones in the milk that are passed along by the cows themselves, who are given these hormones to produce milk. It used to be they used to keep them pregnant so that they would continue lactating, and so the only time that a cow would produce milk was when it was pregnant. So they would keep these cows pregnant. Now they just shove them full of hormones to keep them producing milk, and those hormones, those growth hormones, continue on through the milk itself. and wind up showing up in kids. And so you have these guys that are freshmen that are walking around with full beards and looking like linebackers.
I mean, I had one guy when I was
That's my son.
no, you're right, because when I was a sophomore in high school, people would try to. I never got it. Like, why you'd want to grow a beard in high school? I'm like, I thought you were. I told one guy, I was like, you look like a creep. Like you look like you're 18 in high school, like 19 in high school, and you're really 15. Why would you want to grow a beard? But I guess looking older makes you cooler. I just thought that was stupid. But
What's up, fellow teenagers?
I mean,
exactly.
in the 90s, though, as I was growing up and becoming a teenager and such like that, yeah, that was kind of the deal. Like, if you could actually grow some facial hair that didn't just look patchy and shitty,
You got laid.
Yeah, weirdly enough, you did. It's very weird,
Yeah.
Times definitely changed, but to the point, though,
Well-
Warren, everybody in the 90s used to watch TV shows that were set in high school, and that would be the complaint. Look at these high schoolers that look 30. But then, like you said, when you look at past footage now of the 90s and kids in high school, they, like you said, you're right. They do look like they're fucking 30.
Yeah, it's like really wild.
So
like,
I think a lot of my generation was a little too harsh on shows like Beverly Hills 90210 when they're like, yeah, this dude isn't fucking, Luke Perry. He's 35, but he's playing 18. It kind of makes sense, really, when you look back at it now.
It's an infinite paradox about aging, because when you're underage, all you want to do is be considered older, and you just want to be, treated as somebody who's an adult. But once you're an adult, you just want to be a kid again. So it's fascinating that everybody just wants to be an age that they're not, and I think that will happen.
The real paradox is that guys reach their sexual prime at 18 and women reach theirs at 40. I think that's the real one right there.
I just think like this old perception is kind of like it's whatever. I mean, to me, if I'm gonna apply this to movies, I think if you look like a cult classic like the Thing, right? That movie is like from what, 85, 84 with Russell?
82.
82. But it's still, even though we can visually see that the movie has not the greatest graphics, right? It still has a great story. It still has the effects for that time still looks good. So I think it's how something is presented within that time to its full potential. But then you have movies like Tron, which was, developed and was kind of okay, and the newer version I thought was a little bit better, because that's what I would envision Tron, not like some 2D thing. But I mean, I guess
they were restricted to their tools at the time for the first Tron. Yeah,
right.
And they did a lot of innovating in doing that, making all this other stuff possible. So there. I just want to address this real quick. Nico says the grass is greener on the other side.
No, it's not. It's brown.
It appears that way until you get to the other side, and then the grass on the other side appears to be greener. When the truth is, in fact, that the grass is greener over the septic tank.
Hashtag all grass brown.
Yes. And
good morning, sir.
I probably.
Hey, Gray.
Oh, Gray. Hello. And yes, the Thing is based, and that's why I was going to say I'd probably make the argument, Warren, that the effects in the Thing do hold up in 2024, way beyond what a lot of modern horror movies do, which is rely too heavily on CGI, especially when it comes to the gore. If there's one thing that always pisses me off is when I can notice a CGI gore effect, because it always looks like shit, the blood never looks right, and it just takes you right out of the movie. Whereas in the Thing, you could sit there and look at those effects.
Unless it's a David Fincher film. David Fincher films, the blood looks right.
That.
Yeah.
The blood does look right. I can't deny that. But for the most part, most modern horror movies rely so heavily on CGI that it just most of the time looks shit to me anyways. Whereas I can watch the Thing at any time and all them effects look fucking amazing.
I mean, I agree. I mean, same thing with think about it this way, right? And this is within not our time, like in the 2000 era. Oftentimes we've said that older Marvel movies look better now than they with the graphics that are today. Like everyone says that Iron Man, the first Iron Man, still holds up today. So the
Captain
I would
America
say so.
1984.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I would agree with that, Warren. I'd say the first Iron Man does hold up graphically as
It's
far
not
as
a
their
real
CGI.
movie, Charles. It's not
Right.
a real movie.
Yeah, I hurt thinking about it.
It's just like, and I agree with you, Bob. I think I'm just saying that it's something really old if that's what they were really limited to, but they used it to its max potential. Like Star Wars, they used it to its max potential, and even if you go back, everybody says Empire was probably one of the second best duels ever. Like it's like a top 5 duel in lightsaber for lightsaber. For in the movies for the Star Wars cinematic universe. So, I mean, I guess it's really depending upon how the movie was made, and was it for its time, was the technology used to its max potential.
If you depend mostly or strictly on the technology of the time, at some point it will be dated. What you have to do is like what Spielberg did in Jurassic Park. He did half and half. He had CGI, but he also had like genuine props in there. Like one of the T-Rex
Animatronics, right?
Right. So, like what you're talking about with Marvel, the fact that they are trying to pump things out so fast and everything's just about getting it to a date, not about the quality of the product. They lean too much on technology, and even when you're rushing it, it ends up looking dated at a certain point. So
Yeah.
well, like you guys were talking about the Thing, that's all like real effects. That was
Yes.
dudes with puppets and things like.
Yes, and it looks amazing. Like
Yeah.
it still holds up. Those gore effects are just and it's crazy to me that as we've gone on and as technology has seemingly gotten better, digital technology, I almost feel like why hasn't the practical technology followed suit?
Preach.
Like,
Because
how
the artists
is it?
did not transition with the technology. The
But
great part with Steven Spielberg and the Jurassic Park is that they had this brand new technology, but the people who created it did not know how to animate the characters, and so they relied on a rig that was built for the stop motion animators, who went in and animated using this animatronic rig, this piece of metal, and they would move the bones, and the computer would sense it, and they would hit a button to record that particular point of the movement, and that's how they got the animals to do it. The old school stop motion animators were the ones who were creating the fluid movements that you saw on the screen with the beautiful, wonderful skins. Nowadays, you don't have that. It's the same kid who's designing it that's creating the movement. It's all rigged. All of it's rigged.
I love the bowling alley. It's soothing. So. I mean, I think that's just the overall opinion. I think old is a perception at this point in many aspects. So, are we really old, or are we just old when we just look at things like at this point?
That's what a philosophical old person would
Well,
say.
my age would define that I'm old,
Age is just a number.
Hey, now.
regardless of how I look at it. I'm old. And from any perspective, my age indicates I'm old.
Yeah. We're all old to a 15-year-old.
And if that's not the case, some asshole on Twitter will tell me that it does.
Let's get Chris Hansen, guys.
Yeah. It's like that joke. The only person who thinks I'm too old for my girlfriend is her dad. Let's spin the wheel. And the school when I drop her off. Hey guys, have you seen The Cheese Girl? That's
Is
an
it
honest question.
a hawk to a girl, but for cheese?
No.
Oh.
No. Okay, boomers. There was one of the athletes at the Olympics, an Italian athlete. She was, who did we lose, Bob? We lost Bob.
Yay.
She's sponsored by
Sorry, I jumped.
You're gonna have to wait your turn. Uh, she was sponsored by Parmigiano Reggiano, and she's been posting these pictures of herself with cheese, on cheese, around cheese, and at some point she did a split on 4 wheels of cheese in her full gym regalia, and
Yeah.
I got to making some bad jokes about it online. So did a whole lot of people, and I thought
Rightfully
to
so.
myself, maybe we should take a look and see if it's something that's worth complaining about, or something that is not worth complaining about. So I went and I searched out those pictures, and I put them together with words and music
No.
so that we could review them thusly. Have a look.
I can't help but close my eyes, remembering that taste from a summer Reggiano cheese, melting your embrace. Your flavor's rich, it lingers. Love's a special art. Every bite's a message straight into my heart. Hold me close, let's indulge tonight in Parmesan Reggiano.
I mean that's whatever. I don't think it's anything to talk about. I mean, it's not like she's oiled up on the cheese and like kind of like that. Remember that Old Spice commercial where that woman was sweaty and it's like she looks. I don't know. It just looks plain to me.
Yeah, I think those cheeses need to be signed and numbered.
I mean, maybe the moisture from her is sellable off of the cheese. I don't know. Maybe that turned people off. I don't know.
Better cheese than bread because there's yeast in bread. You don't want
Listen, all I got to say about this is, this is probably the first time I'm ever going to say this in my life.
Uh-oh.
I, as an
Uh-oh.
Italian, am offended by this. I am genuinely offended. This is so stereotypically racist. I just want that to be known. In 2024, how everything is racist, how everyone's just okay with this. Because this is the example I'm going to use. How would anybody feel if, I'm going to butcher her name, but I believe it's Simone Baez, who is the...
Oh,
Nico
wow.
wants to give her a breadstick.
Simone Biles. Wow.
Biles, sorry.
Wow.
Baez.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
that's why you're here, to correct me on how your people pronounce their last name. So thank you for that, Warren.
All right, Captain Sausage over here.
But
Okay.
listen, how would you feel, Warren, if Simone Biles was doing a publicity photo for the Olympics in her Olympic garb and doing splits on buckets of KFC? Would you think that's appropriate?
I mean, I'm kind of used to it because like
They wouldn't have to change the phrase though. I'd still be
Here-
finger licking good.
here's an example, right? So here's what I'm an example of something that appropriate. In the Acolyte, and there's this haircut for this character. If you look him up, his name is Yord, right? If you look him up, he rolls out Yord. For some odd reason, there's this stupid haircut that they keep giving black males. That's like a mixture of a high top and it's faded and it has like nappiness in the front, and it's like, why do you guys keep doing this? Or they keep appropriating like the strong, like in League of Legends, there's this character named Casante. He's a strong black man, but he's gay. Like, why? Why did you make the character gay for? Because you just want to associate it with it. So
Get all the minorities done in one spot. Just
it's like
I know all the that's a lot of boxes to check in one shot, but I know a lot of strong gay black men.
yeah. It's just it's like if it's like I'm not
Usually run the
surprised.
choir in church.
For instance, I'm surprised they didn't do like something about the chick that had the XY chromosomes for Algeria or something like they might have done something like it's like
I've never heard of anything about that person.
Yeah,
I
that
just-
must be new. I haven't either.
I just think that it's like I mean I know you may have gotten offended, but I mean it's a pretty girl on top of some cheese. It's not like she's doing anything provocative or anything silly, so it's like
No, but like she couldn't have been sponsored by anything fucking else.
I mean
Parmesan cheese, and she's
I
got to
mean,
be doing a split on it. She
do-
couldn't
do
have
you-
wore a little fucking
you-
gold Parmesan thing like a medal.
all right, okay, do you want her in like being an Italian mistress, getting so
Yeah,
have
but
someone saying "Bonjour," like
My
something
question
like
is,
that?
cheese is
why?
edible, and she's got her clam kissing the top.
Exactly. I
What's
kind of
wrong with
have
their
it.
what clam on top of cheese? What's
It does
wrong
a
with
split on one of them.
Yeah,
It's
she's
food. You don't want a yeast infection in your cheese.
exactly.
It comes with a
Exactly.
free HPV vaccine.
When I want Parmigiano Reggiano, I don't need it smelling like fish.
I mean, they could have done something with fish and Italians too, like how they dumped them in the sea or something. So
Who brought the sardines?
Listen, I just think it's silly and funny that it's okay to mock Italians like this because this is a fucking mockery, and she should have known that. She should have. I blame this on her. But still, come on, why is it okay to mock us? We get bippity boppity booped and fucking Family Guy all the time, all this sorts of shit. And now on an Olympic stage, it's just like, look, the Italian sponsored by fucking Parmesan cheese. Like, no shit. Like, okay, I guess what's her next sponsor? Fucking Olive Garden and breadsticks? Like,
yeah, why
No, but the
not?
Crash
Like, it's
Girl is
just-
sponsored by wine.
I mean, you could be a Subway, meatball parm sponsor,
It would be a clam Alfredo.
It just seems so wacky. Yeah, like I mean, like it just seems so
I
wacky that this is like.
I'm joking, of course, but I agree,
I
Bob.
know.
It's just like imagine if someone from I don't know Asia, like someone from China, and they were sponsoring new egg rolls or new noodles.
That's
Like,
what I mean. Like, it just seems so weird to me that in this day and age where everybody's so like hyper focused on what could be perceived as racism, that something like this is just like, yeah, we applaud it. This is great.
Oh, wait.
Nobody has a problem.
But she's from Italy?
Yes.
They're a little less
yes.
sensitive in the rest of the world.
No, I know. I know that. I know that.
So
like I
that
said,
makes
I'm
a
just
little
being
bit-
an asshole about it, but it's
Yeah.
it's just weird to me that what the fuck? Because again, you probably couldn't get away with doing something that stereotypical with any other race or any
I'm
other set of
surprised somebody's not out there scamming, though. I mean, there could be some cheese wheels being sold on eBay. I mean, and those things are already expensive,
Big wheel.
Yeah. Bob, does a wheel of Parmigiano Reggiano actually cost?
Well, a
I mean,
clam fist one?
I mean, I think
And you add on top of that the Olympic coating.
I think the cheese lady is it's not as big as a hype. It's just silly in 2024 because the thing is, I guarantee you would have like Kamala Harris come out of nowhere, but like that's offensive. Some old Miles drinking grape soda and eating chicken wings and promoting Popeyes and
Yes.
so it's kind. I get where Bob's saying because it's like a double standard, but I mean,
Yes.
like why? Because just why? Why
The
is it
thing that
needed?
bothers me is it's more like you're an Olympic athlete and you're advertised by cheese. You're not eating
Yeah.
cheese to be in that kind of shape. I'm sorry.
No, especially not in these Olympics because
Right.
I'm pretty sure they're all stuck with a vegan menu over there. So it's just such a weird. It's probably the weirdest like promo thing I've seen for an Olympic
time.
athlete so far.
That's
Yeah,
for you,
show her
Greg.
doing the splits on the cheese again.
Promo time.
That cheese.
Caught me tapping away at my computer there. Where is it? Down here.
I can't help but close my eyes, remembering that taste from a summer Reggiano cheese, melting your embrace. Your flavor's rich, it lingers. Love's a special art. Every bite's a message straight into my heart. Hold me close, let's indulge tonight. Remember summer Reggiano.
Hell yeah, that's cheese.
So you take an OnlyFan who does the exact same thing and starts selling wheels like they do the bathwater
Shit.
for exactly the price of one wheel. So you get a
One?
Weighs
wedge.
more than she does.
That's $1,000 for that whole thing.
Yeah, and she
$9.50.
was and she
Yeah.
did a split on 4 of those. So that's like That's like $5,000 of cheese wasted unless it's going to eBay.
Before lubricant, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
before they got her
Oh, my
signature.
God.
But now it's worth like 25,000 per.
Oh yeah,
Easily.
easily. Look, there's the spot right on the top.
And my question would be: Has this girl meddled at all? Has she won anything?
Oh, I
No.
thought you were. I thought that
Italians
was
are-
slang for something. Has she meddled?
Oh.
pH balance.
Maybe she probably went one in the kitchen with her hot meals and
But and like you can lean into it. If she doesn't place well, you could be like, "Yep, too much cheese. That's a problem."
Yeah.
Yeah, she could sell
Blame the
those and just
sponsor.
say not for human consumption. Jeez. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
Stop offending my
This-
Italian heritage. Let's go.
This has gotten silly. Oh, let's see what Nico says. If she wins a medal, those wheels are going to museums. And
my
this
thing
is the
was-
cheese that won the Olympics.
I just think it would have made more sense rather than her doing splits and all that if they just would have made one of the wheels really small and just made it into like an Olympic gold medal.
Okay,
That to me would have made
Oh,
more sense.
yeah.
this is the last thing I would say. Would you rather her on like cheese that is covered, or be her in like a pit of like tomato sauce for promoting some like form of ragu and all like like rolled around in tomato sauce? Like, I mean,
You know what? That probably would be a little bit sexier if she was pouring jars of fucking sauce on her. You know what I mean? Instead of just like sitting on musty cheese. Like it's cheese.
They're not the best at marketing.
Yeah, I guess not. My people have
Well, we're talking about it,
evolving to
and
do.
so is the internet. So
it's-
they've done something right.
America, they would have capitalized on all of that.
Oh yeah. So speaking of
Yes, they have.
capitalizing, awkward segue. Let's give it a spin because it doesn't match. Spin our wheels.
yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, this is the official wheel. It's on a big block of cheese.
oh, okay, getting to an actual topic. All right.
Actually, enough of that cheesy stuff. Let's do an actual topic here. And do I have a thing for it? Do I have a thing for it? No, I don't have a thing for it. So let me just pull it up here. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So I don't know if you noticed this or not, but we had a little bit of a convention in California. Some people like to call it Comic-Con.
Yes.
It's a small thing that happens every year, and a few folks get together and they talk about some stuff. Gray says, "Oh, that's where Bob was going with the tiny cheese. I assumed worse for him."
Well, I was
Oh,
thinking
man.
that too. So
Yeah, in my part of the country, they have these cheese logs that are covered with nuts. So the Avengers Doomsday was announced. And while doing that, they also announced Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom. And some people, like Screen Rant, were very, very excited that he was back. And other people were, delighted to have the memes. I know who I am.
Yes.
I am the Doom playing the Doom disguised as another Doom. And Robert Downey Jr. returning to the
Oh.
MCU as Black Panther. And somehow Robert Downey Jr. returned.
Okay, that one's really good.
And finally, I got to make this bigger so I can read what the guy says. Hang on a second. Everyone has been so distracted by Robert Downey Jr. playing Dr. Doom that no one is talking about the MCU X-Men casting news. And there's, it's all Robert Downey Jr. So the jokes are being made at the expense of Robert Downey Jr. And it got me to thinking about the character of Doom. Oh yeah, here's a good one. I told Kevin Feige RDJ is Doom. Because wrestling fans do watch movies. This guy said, I get Marvel not wanting to recast Jonathan Majors. I get the hype behind Doctor Doom and Robert Downey Jr. coming back. I don't like ditching Kang, so our time was wasted with Phase 4, and Kang can't even get a proper send off. At least have Doctor Doom kill him, or something.
I don't know that that's happening though. It could happen.
Yeah, but the question comes up: is the MCU disrespecting the character of Kang and Doctor Doom and Iron Man by making the announcement all about Robert Downey Jr.?
No, I mean,
Well, it's settled.
no. Well, here's the thing.
Next topic.
The problem we have here is that because it's a guy beating up on a woman, or well, that's I'm not agreeing that's what he did, Jonathan Majors, and we all
I
know
was like,
that.
where are we going with that?
I know. We all know how that's plastered and to the world. They don't want to have any association with it. And what we've been talking about and what lately too is over the past few weeks is they're going with what works and what got them the millions. Like right now, I checked. Um, Deadpool Wolverine's gonna hit 1 billion. It's gonna hit over 1 billion. It's already approaching 800 million, and that's because people know um, Ryan Reynolds and they know Hugh Jackman, and people are familiar with RDJ. Is it a little bit disrespectful? Yeah, but they just want to stay clear away from that because then you got the women that do go and like they're like, well, that guy that played Kang, Kang's going to be associated just like Hank Pym in the comics about that slap he gave Janet. So it's like just stay clear away from it because then you don't have to have remnants of it appearing. And also, we don't even know the story. That's the third thing. Like they can remember, Marvel has so many stories they pull from that. When I saw the casting, I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're going with the infamous Iron Man storyline and twisting up and a what if. So this is not nothing new in that regard. And RDJ sells. RDJ has every time he's appeared on the screen. He's
I don't remember the Doctor Doolittle toys flying off the shelf.
No, I mean for the MCU. Every time he's appeared in the MCU, he's made some money. Like even the Iron Man 3 movie, which I thought was absolutely horrible, it made a lot of money. So it's like go with your bank, go with what's gonna go in your bank account. I don't mean to rant, but that's kind of that's the way I see it.
I don't think the parallels are fair to either Jonathan Majors or Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. today is a far more proven entity than Jonathan Majors. And to make the comparison that, yeah, well, Robert Downey Jr. was arrested too. He was arrested in 1996. It took him a while before he was a relevant person. Even in 2005.
It's because he was in prison.
Right. Right. Well,
he had problems all through the 90s. I mean, that tanked his career, like Charles is saying.
Yeah.
The guy had to go through, I would say, probably a good almost 10-year period, with the exception of like a couple movies in there, where he was just he was doing
prison.
Like
he was in prison.
Well, prison, and he just made a lot of shitty movies,
yeah.
like that the ones that he could only get. It was like his career was going the way of Steven Seagal or Bruce Willis. Just if it was today, it'd be straight to streaming.
Yeah,
unlike now, where he's making proven hits like Sherlock Holmes, and
that made money. Whether or not it's good that's the question. But they only care about the cash.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but Jonathan Majors is. I would say that Jonathan Majors is a better actor. And the what he was found guilty of is essentially illegal roughhousing.
Yeah, but the parallel to Robert Downey Jr. today just isn't fair. If you're going to make they were arrested parallel, compare it to Robert Downey Jr. in 1998. Was he getting handed big roles in Marvel movies? No. He wasn't even insurable for a couple of years because of his history. So it's not a fair one-to-one. Jonathan Majors is going to have to pay his dues. He's going to have to do some indie things. He's going to have to work his way back to the top. It's not that he's not a bankable entity. Maybe they're not doing anything with Kang because they'll let him, climb the hill again and bring him back later on. Or like Warren said, they could still have him. They don't know that or
I
none of
agree.
us know that, you know, Kang is done. We don't know that.
No, that it's the Marvel universe, and I think again it's the playing safe factor. That's why they got the
Yes.
Russo brothers, because then everybody. I'm surprised people. I mean, some people have said, "Oh, they're going back to the Russo." The Russo brothers made them money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
like,
Carol
like.
Burnett brought the gang back together to return to television, and it worked
Yes.
out so well for them. I don't think this is any good. I don't think this is good planning. I think they are reactionary, and they have
Oh,
been for a lot of years, and don't have a plan. I don't
they're
think there's a script in mind.
Nope.
I think all of
100%
this.
no.
I think all of this was just a reactionary thing. They needed to announce something at Comic Con, and so they threw money at it. We're talking about over $200 million
Mhm.
before anything, even before pen meets paper,
Yes.
as the old people in this crowd used
I
to
mean,
say when
that
we were
might.
young.
I agree with you, Rosales, but what would you have them do?
No,
Because
you don't. No,
I
you
what would
don't.
you I like put thought into it? That's what I would have them
no,
do,
but
Warren.
Bob,
Because
what are they gonna do? That they cannot use. I like these rumors from when Chill would be on here were stirring prior about Doom. We know that they're not gonna use this guy. Would I love Kang? Yeah, but what are they gonna do? They had things developed that were, remember, they try to plan out these phases. Um, and they had things developed to probably reset because of the character that Kang is. He would have
well,
been able to reset. What would you have them do? That's what I'm. I'd love
very
the
simple.
solution.
Very simple. Re fucking cast.
How?
What
How
do you
can you?
mean how? Find another black actor. What do you mean how?
There's
It's
They.
more than
very
one
simple.
out there
Yeah,
Really? Oh, really? Well, why didn't they recast T'Challa then?
because they're
because
fucking
I'll tell you why.
assholes and they're
I'll tell you why they
idiots.
didn't recast T'Challa, because they were headed towards Shiri anyway. Okay,
Yes.
that's where they
I
were
don't.
going in the
I do
first
not agree
place.
with that. I
Nope,
highly
that
nope. I don't agree. I do not think they were going with Shuri. They were
that's where they were
headed.
headed. They were
No,
headed
they
in that
were.
direction,
Nope.
just like they were headed to the Young
Nope.
Avengers being a mostly female crew and cast.
No. Oh, hell no. That can't be, because already they had what they showed Billy and Tommy what from WandaVision. They
Mhm.
already showed Patriot. They didn't
Billy and
that
Tommy count as non-binary.
what point being is that, like, it's not that I don't want them and they're not thinking. It's like they're going with what works. Like, what would you like when I mean what would you have them do? People are crying and moaning that, oh my god, Marvel is bad, Marvel's this. We finally get a good movie in Deadpool Wolverine, and we're finally getting something. You getting what you want, but then you want your cupcake, your brownie, your ice cream. You
Well,
like, what else would you like? A
yes.
bottle of
I
milk
mean,
too?
you don't think this 20 plus year cinematic universe has, has should have some standards to it?
Not That's not what I'm saying, Bob. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
But
saying
what you're saying is that they got into a position where it was just like, well, what do we do? Okay,
well,
well,
yeah,
let's do
well,
this. Let's announce two fucking movies that we have no script for, barely a writer lockdown. We have one star to announce, two fucking directors that we had to
but
pay,
Bob,
that we
the
had to print
it's
money to fucking pay. Number one, because it's
it
outrageous.
started
The
from
guy,
the pandemic, though, Bob. It started from the pandemic. Well, how do I mean that, right? They didn't
yes, I
have they First off, they had a completely different plan, but the pandemic screwed up their whole timeline. It screwed up their releases for TV shows. It screwed up their releases for movie. They've screwed up their releases for what their ideas from. This stems from the pandemic. So if we really want to go down this rabbit hole, we need to talk about how the pandemic screwed up, because we don't know what their full timeline is. We don't know how any of their movies would have
do.
done
Do you
if
want
they
to know
didn't
why
have.
we don't know that though, Warren? Because they barely know what they're doing. They aren't thinking this
Nobody
shit
knew what
out.
they were no Nobody knew what they were doing during the pandemic, though. Like, think about what happened with
No,
this
no, no.
Scarlett
This is
Johansson debacle.
But
Well,
this
hold up,
goes prior
hold
to the
up.
pandemic, Warren. This goes way prior to the pandemic.
No,
This is a
prior to.
come. Let me ask you: when Iron Man first came out, Warren, did it have a finished script or not?
Yeah,
No, it didn't. That's 100% wrong. They were shooting that movie without a finished script. Iron Man 2, when that got greenlit, did that have a finished script?
No, that didn't.
Exactly. And this is the issue I'm talking about here. The picks are safe. I agree with you 100% on that. The picks are completely safe and they make sense in that aspect. But when you go to a Comic-Con and you're announcing two major fucking movies and you're telling me that you have solid release dates for these that are going to be that this is going to be finished up in 3 years. With two Avengers movies coming out back to back a year apart, right now, all of China should be working on the CGI for this movie. Seriously,
Probably is.
because exactly because it's that's what's insane. This is where my whole problem comes from, and why they're doing this, and how it is sort of disrespectful. You have
Well,
Robert Downey Jr. who did
go ahead.
Sorry, Warren. You do have
All of
Robert Downey
China can't
Jr.
be working on this simply because they're too busy incorporating AI into Apple
Well, then
iPhones.
maybe they got AI working on the CGI for this movie at this point, but it just seems like they
I
announced this.
disagree with that comment, Nico. I don't believe that. I do not believe Ironheart was ever going to be replacing Iron Man. Let's stop that. And all that is inaccurate for the because I even saw a video about Shuri. Shuri was just going to challenge. She might have been temporary, but that's whole inaccuracy.
That's
But
the only explanation. It's the only explanation of why they won't do it because they've already confirmed that anybody can play anybody by having Henry Cavill as the Wolverine. Spoiler alert. Um, and
Plus,
as
Rhodey
with
was changed
Ross,
from Iron
and
Man 1
Rhodey
to
was
Iron Man 2.
changed, and Ross was
And Ross,
changed,
yes, exactly.
and
Ross
they
is on
had
his
John
third actor.
Krasinski and Pablo Picasso as Mr. Fantastic.
Pedro, I mean,
Gesundheit.
the thing is that I agree with
The
you what you're
only
saying.
the only reason they don't have a new Black Panther is because they don't want a new Black Panther.
Yet. I don't think it's that they don't want one, it's not yet. And I think also, I mean, we got Captain America New World Order coming out, right? Which is going to star a lead black actor, which so far from the first trailer, I haven't heard that many people cry wolf about that. What I'm saying is that I understand the concern. It's 3 years. There's normally a buildup. The problem is that this whole thing stemming from the pandemic, which is 2000, which we're 4 years into, got derailed and messed up everything. That is my point. And also, we're getting what we like. We're getting the Russo brothers. We know what we're gonna get. They produced a good movie with Winter Soldier. They produced a good movie with Civil War. Like, what are we? I'm sorry, but if I could see if the Russo brothers produce hot garbage, but it's not hard garbage. They help produce Endgame. What more
No,
do we
but
need
then
to?
it makes it more about the casting than it does about the story and the characters.
Yes, and I would argue too, Warren, that if you and here's my theory on this, and this is really why it bothers me. You look at and I'm just this is all speculation that I'm about to say, and I'm basing my speculation here off of just the two logos released and what I do know of the Iron Man, Doctor Doom storylines that have been in the comics. You look at the Doomsday logo, and that is completely green, which obviously represents Doctor Doom and his color scheme.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Represents money.
Oh,
Or envy.
thank you. Thank you. I apologize.
It's DC envy, is what it is.
Now, if you take a look at the, what is it, Secret Wars is the next Avengers movie after Doomsday, if I'm correct. If you look at that color
Yeah,
scheme of that logo, that looks strikingly familiar, doesn't it? We've seen those colors constantly. And
Iron
where do we
Man.
see them? Exactly. So if you're telling me that they brought this fucking guy back to play a character in Doctor Doom that ultimately ends up reviving somehow the Tony Stark of the MCU just so we can end this fucking thing and reboot everything, I'd ask, why are we doing it? Why are you paying this guy $80 million just to hurry up and rush a reboot? Because you could be
Well,
right in that aspect, Warren, where like they're waiting for like all of this to end before they start recasting like a T'Challa
well,
or anything like that.
the whole thing was right. That was Kang was supposed to reset everything. That's why they picked him because it's like,
Hmm.
okay, they could go do this multiversal time thing, and at the end, just kind of like DC's
Everybody's a girl. Boom.
with with the clearly with Flash and how he had his crisis. They wanted to try to do something like that where even though he repaired time and fixed it, it still had ramifications, but for the most part, like 60%, let's say 70% was fixed, but then 30% were ramifications, right? So now we're in a situation right now where who do you who do you go with Doom? And this is something I've brought up on streams even before the Kank thing.
I
The
know who's
problem
going to bring down Doom, though. I do. I know who's going to wind up being.
the problem I have here is that Marvel used their big characters too early. What do I mean? They used Thanos way too early. He should have been something that should have been like, I don't know, because it's been planning from what 2004, and then um
It was too early to bring him in the 9th and 10th film.
No, I think it was too early. I think you should have stayed. You should have worked your way up. What I mean is, you got Loki, but you still stayed. You stayed with Doom. You stayed on Earth for a bit, and then you start going to like a Thanos level. Now that we've gotten Thanos, what is a lot of the complaints you always hear? Oh, who's gonna be Thanos? Who's gonna be the next Thanos? Who's gonna be the guy that surpasses Josh Brolin as the actor that you know Thanos was so enamoring. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Thanos was bad.
It's going to be Gamora.
No, I think you're sort of right there, Worm, because I mean, really, realistically, I think Marvel has always had a problem with villains in their movie, and Thanos actually was a very good villain and did have somewhat of a lead up, 9-10 movies until we actually got to see him.
Right.
He was acted very well. He had great motivation. The character was very well written for the movie. And then, like you said, then, you look at a character like Ultron, who we got one movie of, and get the fuck out
Should
of
have
here.
been
You're
more
gone.
movies. He should
Exactly.
have been.
Yes, because just so everybody knows, when somebody talks about ages and being in an age, it usually lasts longer than 2 hours. That should have been Avengers Moment of Ultron, really is what it should have
It
been
was
called.
stillborn.
Yeah, exactly. And it just, like I said, my major concern, mostly, of anything else is the fact that, to me, looking at the slate of movies they announced, they're rushing. They're rushing.
Oh,
And
I mean, they are. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, results.
Oh, that wasn't me. I wasn't saying anything.
Oh.
Oh,
To me, they're rushing to get to the end, and to me that makes no sense, because you have a Fantastic Four movie that's about to come out, which is going to have to set up the Doctor Doom character. So obviously RDJ is going to have some sort of appearance there, or do we actually see in that movie who the fucking real Doctor Doom actually is? Because I'm willing to bet that this RDJ is not actually the real Doctor Doom.
That's what I was gonna say. Because if you.
But you know who gets shorted by this? I don't mean to cut you guys off, but the person that gets shorted by this is Galactus, because he's going to be the big bad guy in the Fantastic Four movie.
Well,
so the whole plans that may have had as him being a big bad guy, a big baddie, winds up all by the wayside. Even if they did have plans for it. Let's give Charles the conch for a second.
Yes.
Oh no, I forgot. I think something that's happened with Marvel is they circumvented the entire process of making movies back before Marvel had this like universe where they were planning 20 movies in advance. To plan that far in advance for films was unheard of. You had to make a good movie first, and however that did, then you kind of work your way into a franchise or sequels. And Marvel finally is learning the hard way that you can't plan that far in advance, because if people don't go and it ends up sucking, they're certainly not going to go to the third or fourth variation of that. So it's worked for a little bit, and now they're finally realizing what the movie industry is if you miss. And they've had to do some shuffling. And I do agree with Warren that, yes, as far as financially is concerned, this is safe. And RDJ is a proven name. They want, they're proven directors, and the Russos. Here, guys, remember when you enjoyed the stuff we did? Here, same stuff.
But it also proves that Marvel is still not concerned with the quality of the films.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a major problem that I have
What
with
do you
the way
mean by
Marvel
the
does
quality
this.
of films?
You announce a date, you announce an actor, and you already blow the budget by $200 million before even writing the script. That's what I mean by that. You're not concerned with the story. You don't care.
They're going back to elements of safety. Some of the better Marvel movies, they weren't testing boundaries or anything. They were just good, safe movies, like by the numbers. And this is a form of safety using proven names and proven directors and other things. But yes, I don't think they were ever good at planning the actual filmmaking process.
Oh yeah,
and you have to admit though, in times of turmoil, history has shown that movie fans will go to things of comfort and familiarity.
Right.
Okay. And this is definitely a time of turmoil out there for people who are paying attention to real news and not this crap we talk about. And so you get people going back to Ryan Reynolds and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, who is, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, Hugh Jackman is a huge actor.
Woof.
But Nico says, I disagree. You can absolutely plan that far ahead. Marvel Comics has a gigantic pantheon to scour from. MCU is just refusing to make good stories and picking rubbish characters to spotlight. I don't know why I did that voice, by the way.
You certainly can plan those things, but as far as the film industry is concerned, if they don't pay for it, you're not going to be able to make those, third, fourth, fifth movies. I agree with you, but to take like a 7-movie arc, to take advantage of that and think that you're going to be able to make all of this, how long have we been joking about these 6 Avatar movies? Like, granted, the 2 that we've had so far have made a ton of money, but
I thought there was only one Airbender movie made so far.
There's another big flop.
I wanted to brush up on Bob's point. I don't think RDJ is going to be. I think remain the Doctor Doom. I think they're going to have another casting. If you look at the stories that people have been reading about the story, I think RDJ is just going to come back as Iron Man, which is kind of whatever. But Iron Man's a character that you don't need to, like, for instance, Chris Hemsworth, he's a bit younger than RDJ, so you don't need him to take off his shirt and personify him as sexy and all that stuff. Maybe. So Iron Man's a character that they realize is Tony Stark just needs to be decently in shape, wear a vest if he's like trying to, like when he was in the first movie in the cave, and he's in his suit half the time. And they know what sells. Like, I'm not worried because the reason
like
I'm
the
not
Marvels.
The Marvels. I'm not worried because
the Eternals.
The what the Russo brothers have done, like they've just every movie they've made. You can check Civil War. You can check Captain America: Winter Soldier. You can check Endgame and Infinity War. Those were at least $900 movies. Like what
This is true. You are 100% correct and beyond. They were $900 movies.
But isn't there a storyline in the comics where Iron Man?
900 million. Sorry.
I didn't mean 900 million. No, if you do that, you can also claim the Marvels and everything. You stick with $900.
Yeah, most movies are $900.
There's a story about infamous Iron Man. That's why I wasn't so surprised. And I was like, okay, this is why. If you look up there's an infamous Iron Man story, and there's also a what if story that they're doing, and we've seen them do what ifs, and that's actually out of all this, which is one of their animated products. Some of them what ifs have been pretty. I'd say at least 55% have been good.
Yeah, but Gray is making a pretty good point here when they said that lowercase RDL is uppercase Victor, lowercase Von Doom. They announced him as Victor Von Doom, and then the confusion comes in when RDJ comes out. And is that a J or an L?
Looks like an L to me.
Yeah. Calling you out. Haha, based. I don't know what that means. When he came out, he took off the mask and said, RDJ said, Take it with a grain of salt. He's not the writer or producer. Same goal, different mask.
Now, new masks, different mask, same task.
Same. Okay, there you go. But it's the meaning is the same in that he's doing the same thing. Why isn't Gray in the panel? He was naughty. That's why. And
He's in a timeout.
Yes. We've relegated him to the comment section, but we did give him a wrench, so he's not all that bad. I'd say he took the L on that one. So.
I guess, really, I mean, a lot of this falls on the success of the Fantastic Four, I would say.
No, I don't. I think it. Okay,
You don't,
I don't
think so? Like, if that movie bombs, because that's got to be a precursor into the.
No. Here, let me finish first. I agree with you, but I don't think so. I think it starts from Deadpool, Wolverine, and moving onwards with remember we still have movies coming up for 2024.
The biggest gripe against Deadpool and Wolverine is it just doesn't make sense in a timeline. So this whole multiverse thing is such backdoor cheating version of storytelling that you can't really build a universe from stuff like this because it's
Well, Warren, let's use Deadpool and Wolverine. What is a new thing that they introduced into this, which are anchor beams?
Sorry, I meant phone call.
Was I boring you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess so.
No, there's a phone call, so I have to. No, not you, Charles. There's a phone call, and I'm waiting for it to stop.
I'm just kidding. I didn't take any offense.
So, but if we go with the concept of an anchor beam that Deadpool and Wolverine is now presented into the MCU, I think
everybody needs a vacation from the show sometimes. Sorry.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
But I think it would be fair enough to say that RDJ's Tony Stark was the anchor beam of the sacred timeline. I think that's more than fair. So if that's the case, his sacrifice, that timeline should be disintegrating. Now we know from Deadpool and Wolverine that usually that's something that takes a couple thousand years to do. It's not a fast process unless somebody like the TVA guy is there pruning that universe out of existence. But seeing as that it's the sacred timeline and the main one, obviously they don't want to prune that out. So that's why it just, and then you go into this Fantastic Four movie where it's going to be set in the 60s. I have a feeling that the precursor we're going to get, because you now have to get those characters into modern times, because they need to be able to join the Doomsday or the Secret Wars or whatever next fucking movie they're going to appear in. And it just start making your mind go nuts, because trying to think of okay, where they're going. I think they're going to stick with the Doom and Iron Man. I don't think they're going to go a what if angle, because if you're going to end this whole thing on a big what if, that to me is just a middle finger to the entire fucking audience that's been around for 20 years.
Wait, they have a movie currently in the can. Like they have the Captain America movie. That has to lead into something here, right?
All this has to start leading into something.
Well, you would think so, but they've reshot that film like twice already.
What they've
go ahead.
What they've been saying is that from Eternals, the whole big thing is because it's been brought up in the shows too, like Tiamat being stuck in the ocean. That's the build up right now. Is that there's
when
Tiamat,
did they bring that up in the shows?
They brought it up in they brought it up very, very subtly in, sadly, that show called She-Hulk, where there's something big in the Indian Ocean, and they addressed it in another show too. I think it was Hawkeye, about Tiamat. But the whole point is that the resources from that celestial can be almost, it's like vibranium level. Like if you get your hands on this, you're basically at a nukes race, war race, whatever. Point being is that
you know what else they addressed in the shows? A presidential mandate and war against superheroes in Secret Invasion. That ended with that. Doesn't matter. So was the She-Hulk. But if you're saying it's canon, it's canon. So
I'm not saying it's not canon.
You're saying Tiamat is canon, and so they dropped this thread of the mad President King who wants to war with all of superherodom. Everybody with powers and aliens. He wants to deport all the aliens. They trumped themselves. That's what they did. And now that story is dead, just like Tiamat was dead for a long time. And say, where do we go with this?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm not defending that show. That show was terrible. The Secret Invasion was utterly terrible. It should have never been a show. It could have been easily swapped in for Kang, but I'm not the powers that be that run Marvel. The problem is that they just needed to recast and stay with Kang's storyline, and then you're fine. But they refuse to do that, and that's just because they don't want to be associated. And the female, no offense, but the female power base is gonna think about that when they see, oh, that Jonathan Majors guy, he got casted, but it's another black guy playing Kang, and I don't know if I could go. They don't want to.
Do you think Four Angry Women are gonna ruin the steam of Marvel and DC in comic book movies as a whole?
I mean, the steam is a lot of like. There's a lot of women, like we got Agatha, which again didn't need to be. Could have been a project they cut and saved money, but they're releasing it. I don't know why you're doing it as Agatha's show, even though I have nothing against Catherine Hahn. She's been in several movies and stuff that I find utterly funny. And
no, a lot of shit sticks to the wall, is what happens, Warren.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you get someone that shows off good in one show and they go in it. I don't want to derail. I'm just saying that I understand Bob's frustration. You got 3 years to do a character like Doom, but I think what I meant was when I said I want to make sure I go back to my point. The next
Absolutely, no one's rushing you at all.
The next movie is what's important, like the Captain America movie, the Thunderbolts movie. There's another, I forgot what other movie scheduled after that. I think there's a Shang-Chi 2 movie, I believe.
I don't
these
think
movies
so.
It might be. It might be. I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff that gets announced that doesn't actually get traction or movement on.
Right.
However, there is something that's important about the Captain America movie. Anthony Mackie had made a statement regarding Red Hulk, and we're going to cover that next week as part of a topic. So, because he specifically mentions Green Hulk, and what he says may be who's the Hulk actor?
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo's. What he said could be Mark Ruffalo level of spoilers for what they actually do have planned. So we'll look into that next week. Final thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, my final thoughts is I agree with your concerns, Gray, Charles, everyone here. It appears lazy, but they need to make money. And they need to also appease the fans, and they need to go with what works. And I think they're in a good. They're starting off with a good direction with Deadpool, Wolverine. Now we need to see the movies going forward. Are they going to be billion-dollar movies? Because that's kind of their name at this point.
Well, here's my final thought, and I'm going to quickly read off here. What Marvel really did, the slate that they did announce at Comic-Con that was confirmed. So again, we know we're getting Fantastic Four first baby steps on July 25th of 2025. For some reason, they still have it in their heads that the fucking Blade movie is going to be made and finished and in the can, ready for release on November 7th of 2025. And then after that, you end up with May 1st and May 7th, 2026 and 2027 for Doomsday and Secret Wars, respectively. I mean, and then they even updated a slate and had 2 other to-be-announced movies in between there somewhere. Just end this fucking thing. That's my final thought. Get this out, reboot. That's what Deadpool and Wolverine should have been. That should have been your out for all of this. Get the fuck out and restart. Because now, my question is, when you do reboot this universe, do you recast the Fantastic Four that you just cast for these fucking movies?
Depends on how the movie does.
Yeah, exactly. Or are we playing a James Gunn here role where we're going to pick and choose the certain characters that we pick from a past universe to carry over into a new one?
Charles, Disney stock has been below 100 for going on 4 weeks now, and it hasn't been under 100 for a long, long
Very
time.
long time, yeah.
How long before they sell the Marvel Cinematic Universe to Warner Brothers Discovery?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Just be done with it.
I would assume they'd sell Fox first.
They are definitely being talked to by, there's investors, the big time investors, not like me, who own more than a million shares.
I'll join you. I got a couple of bucks in my pocket.
These investment houses are talking about if Disney gets restructured, that they would start divesting. If they get a change of management up inside there, and a new board, and start focusing more on returns on investments than just investing, that they would start divesting different properties that Disney owns. So,
I mean, if they're going to sell Marvel, they are going to get a lot of money for that.
Oh, yes.
A lot of money.
Which they need to buy Hulu at final stock.
But what makes them more money? Does the MCU and all the excess garbage that they put out into the universe pulling in money that, we don't know some of it, does that make more money for them, or does Hulu make money for them? I would gamble that Marvel makes them far more money than Hulu, plus the licensing's worth a lot to them, so they can do this crisscross universe stuff where they now have all of it, where you could put X-Men, which is Fox, was Fox. You could have all these like tie-ins where it's worth something to them. It's the biggest fan film production studio there is.
The top Marvel tie-in toys really put the hurt on Hasbro, and they are now in talks of merging with another company, another toy company who shall be unnamed.
I mean,
mostly because I forgot.
I could see something like that where Disney says, all right, how about the licensing for merch? We could sell that off. But like that's a big piece. The Marvel universe. I'd even assume they'd sell Star Wars before Marvel.
I wish that they would sell Lucasfilms.
Which, since they're both under the same roof, is it that far-fetched that you have some sort of Star Wars, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah. Is it that? I mean, it's not a 0% chance, right?
I don't know how many of the Guardians of the Galaxies are women. But that does pose a really good question. We'll probably talk about next week because Paramount is merging with Skydance, and in the same way that Warner Brothers went through a kind of reshuffling of IPs and properties and things like that, we might see those types of things happening to the Star Wars. So we'll talk about that next week as well. But I think it's time to go back to spinning.
Be sure to tune in.
Yes, be sure to tune in.
Now,
I agree.
Land on the
Star
Batman
Wars
so I can
shouldn't
yell
be
about
at
something
Disney.
else.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I hope we land on the Batman so I can yell about something else.
Yay! Nico says, didn't Disney buy, ruin, and then sell Power Rangers? Yes, they sold it back to Saban, which was hilarious.
Did they? I didn't know they bought it from Saban and sold it.
Yes,
back.
so yeah, they did, and they made a lot of money that way. Haktua TV, man, she's back in the news.
Yeah.
She's back in the news. Not only I'll do this. Not only did she show up at the pay-per-view last night in the audience watching some wrestling, she showed up other places as well. Specifically the Whitney Cummings podcast, where she let something slide that I don't think anybody was prepared to hear. Let me see. I'm scrolling up and down and I can't find the videos because I'm on the wrong tab. Excuse me. So let's hear from her herself.
I asked Haley her celebrity crush.
Miss Haley Welch.
Yeah, Miss Haley Welch. I feel like Ghislaine Maxwell.
Haley, how old are you?
21.
How's your mom?
My mama a crackhead. You don't want her.
Is she an actual crackhead?
Yeah, I'm a crack baby.
Are you?
Why do you think I'm so funny?
Okay, she might be your soulmate.
How are you enjoying fame?
I mean, it's okay.
Have some fun. Save some crack for the rest of us.
Okay.
Hawk Tua girl is a crack baby.
Hawk Tua and throw that rock in that thing.
Yes.
I mean, does that extend her 15 minutes? Does she get like an extra 4 for that? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but obviously she's got people. Otherwise, she wouldn't be on the Whitney Cummings podcast. I think Charles was making a point like that earlier.
She has to have a publicist. She's appearing in a lot of places.
But letting her say she's a crack baby, does she have good publicists?
I mean, it's in some ways that could be enduring to some people. You know,
other crack babies, like we can do it. Yeah,
I mean, it didn't turn into like some Oprah Winfrey fucking sob story that just killed the podcast in the middle of what they're doing, but she was at least like kind of self-deprecating about it, making light of it. I am a crack baby. Why the fuck you think I'm so funny? That is kind of funny. So
she
good
didn't
on
say
her.
that. She said, "Why are you laughing at it?"
I mean,
I opened my heart to you, and you're laughing at the fact I'm a crack baby.
I mean, Miss Haley Welsh, I've seen other stuff. She seems pretty wholesome and funny, and she doesn't have an OnlyFans, so that's already good. That's already good news in my book.
Yeah.
That's the last step. That's always the last step.
I hope to God she doesn't get that. I mean, that's the one thing that separating her, and she's been.
Hey, y'all, look what I can do with this wheel of cheese.
I mean, we've seen worse people get fame and just be complete douches about it. So,
absolutely.
I mean, I'm okay with. She's funny. Everybody finds her funny. Doesn't matter the race. I mean, I think she. I mean, even if it's a
sounds like you think all crack babies are white.
No, they're not. I mean, she's funny, but in a dorky, not all the time. But I mean, I personally don't think anything of it. I hear about the name. No, she doesn't have anything. She's like a skeleton. Like no.
Light the pipe or not. That's what Warren
she
is
has
playing.
a cute face, but she's not. I don't do skeleton crew. I'm sorry.
My
but-
bad. I forgot you guys like the fat white women.
No, that's no. Maybe that might be the grandmas back in Italy, but no. No. Good one there.
That's the Walmart where they're skinned in pajamas.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think. I mean, we've had other people in fame come from were alcoholic babies, and so why is this like her saying it out loud?
I know people who do crack wind up being skinny. I just didn't know that transferred down to the crack babies.
Maybe. I mean, I just don't think. I mean, she has a cute face, but I could never. I'm good.
That was a good one. Fame's not all that it's cracked up to be. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. And Warren's only worried on whether or not he will sex her. So
I will not.
Charles,
sex her.
Do you have a different opinion that doesn't wind up with you in bed with a crack baby?
Oh no, I'm a happily married man. I don't know what angle. I mean, I don't think it. Does anybody think of this person as a celebrity this time next year?
No.
No, unless they just keep her relevant in the media somehow.
I don't think anything she's doing right now really accelerates or lengthens her time of 15 minutes.
Until her show comes out.
I think she's capitalizing on it, but appropriately. But at a certain point, it's just going to be like, okay, you're known for spitting on your boyfriend's dick for oral sex. What? I don't care about anything else you have to say.
I mean,
I know she's got to be. She has to have gotten the call from one of the producers going, "Your mama's got to be part of the show." She just has to be a part of this reality show. You cannot have a crack mama and not put her on the show.
We're not polling well with uneducated crack babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I
We're in
don't
talks
know.
with Discovery.
I just think
Oh.
that she's okay, and I mean, again, I'd rather her than that Catch Me Outside girl that just.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'll take Haley
I
over.
don't think the topic is whether or not you would smash her, Warren. You keep going back to that.
No, what I mean,
you
what
know,
I
Warren
mean
is trying
by-
to get a date. That's
when
all
I
we're
say
trying to do.
take her instead, and I don't mean like Chris Hansen and scoop her away from her parents.
Well, she's 21, so you wouldn't be caught with Chris
I'm saying that as as getting famous off of something, Haley is more marketable than even like that Bad Bunny chick, like, or whatever her name is. Bad Baby. I don't even know. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's
Like,
one of them things.
It's one of those things. Like, her mom was dressing the same way as her, and like looking all the like this is like when she was like still 16. I'm like, and she has an OF too. I'm like, okay, so your mother's helping you promote your OF. All right, I mean,
that's a supportive mother. What else would you want?
exactly.
Standards for fame aren't exactly standards that much
She's still
anymore.
my baby. She lives in
Exactly.
my house. I'm going to take care of her no matter what she does.
Yeah, exactly. But Charles is right. A year from now, that's more than enough time for some other viral thing to be
Yep.
in the,
Yeah, but
ethos
it is
here.
less time than a Marvel film.
You gotta and pardon that thing. You gotta and pardon that thing.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. Exactly.
I want to talk to them Parmigiani people.
All right, let's get Batman, the Cape Crusader. Here, Bob Rage. Nope. Oh, well, I'm gonna be AFK, guys. It's SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. That means that we will be talking about some wrestling.
Wrestling?
Wrestling.
Somebody wants to know about wrestling. Some people call it wrestling, baby. Sports entertainment, brother. Suplex, clothesline, powerbomb, pile driver, sleeper hold, figure four, moonsault, DDT, body slam, headlock, leg drop, armbar, choke slam, sharpshooter, backbreaker. It's Tsukiri.
Wow, that whole intro song just gave me vibes of Chris Jericho when he came out there one day and had like the huge list of all the moves that he could do, and he started reading them off in alphabetical order, starting with armbar, and just kept going down.
I wanted to ask a question in regards to SummerSlam. Like,
Sure.
Yes, we paid for it.
Why did they do it in a city like Cleveland?
They set a record for that stadium last night.
I think in this particular case, I could be wrong because I'm not working off information. But I think Cleveland paid them to be there. I think that's why they were there.
Isn't that usually the case? Like, to get a.
Oh no, I mean, what I mean is I have nothing against Cleveland. I just thought that
You wouldn't smash it.
What if the hot cool girl was in Cleveland?
No.
She was in Cleveland.
Yep.
She was in Cleveland.
I was just thinking that an event like SummerSlam would be like in a bigger city, or like a more well-known state that would even generate even more revenue. That's why I was curious when I saw Cleveland. I'm like, really, Cleveland? Like, I'm not against it, but SummerSlam is something I think would even appear in like Vegas or like a Florida.
I get what you're saying, and I kind of agree with that. It seems like you would want to be in like a state that makes you think of sun. Florida, Nevada, California.
Right.
According to the internet, I've heard really bad things about Ohio, so why Cleveland?
Yeah, Ohio does suck. It really does. It's the shittiest fucking state.
So I was taking my son to see the Deadpool yesterday, and we got back late, so I wasn't able to see this match. But I predicted before the match earlier in the week that Dominic would interfere and it would backfire, causing Morgan to retain. And I did not predict any of this, but he did interfere, and Liv Morgan did retain, and then that stuff happened. Now we're not doing the videos because we know about that.
I'm sure we'll get slapped for showing this fucking picture though.
We learned our lesson.
Look at that dirty fucking mustache.
That's the
He's
Bob mustache, though.
He's looking more and more like Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
So.
he is.
Wow, he does.
He really is Eddie's kid.
Ah, man. They really were like brothers. The next matchup was Braun Breaker, where I said Braun Breaker would dominate and with a rally by Zayn, but Breaker would overcome at the last second. And sure enough, that happened.
Good to see.
And Braun Breaker won that particular match. Next up was Logan Paul, and I said LA Knight would overcome with a cheating Paul to be crowned a new champ.
Oh.
And Logan Paul, true to form, started to break his body in the match, doing high spots.
Oh, I almost threw up watching that spot right there. He nearly
Landed so gnarly.
Yeah, he nearly killed him. The announcers I know were scrambling because they were like, "Oh, it's a super brain buster." No, that motherfucker jumped way before Logan was well prepared to start moving off that fucking top rope.
Yeah, they were not coordinated, and Logan wasn't able to get enough speed to rotate, and wound up landing on his shoulders, which he could have landed on his head if LA Knight had launched just a fraction of a second sooner. It would have been a super DDT.
Yes. Because it almost happened, like when I watched it live, it almost looked like it was happening in slow motion. Because you could see Logan trying to get some momentum, trying to get himself over. You could also see LA Knight trying his best to actually, like, physically himself rotate him over, and it landed so awkward that actually gave me a little bit of a scare there. You know,
wrestling.
Hugest Logan Paul fan, but I don't want to see somebody get drozed on fucking live TV.
Not gonna lie, you've been really on Logan Paul. You wanna hawk to him?
I mean, as far as his skill goes, I as far as celebrities coming in to wrestle, this dude is a natural. I can't, like, I don't like him as a person, but I can't discredit or.
What if he brings in an open bottle of Prime?
Whatever. I mean, the fucking bottle logo's already on the mat anyway, so what's the difference? I mean, whatever.
This is a great shot for people who hate Logan Paul, by the way.
It is.
I'll give him a hawk too if I can get some of that bank account.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, nobody's getting bank account from him. He's cheated everybody, but that's a different story.
LA Knight needed this win, though. He definitely did.
Yes, he's not getting any younger.
No.
And the Rock stuff is already played out. So LA Knight won, as I predicted. And here's where it starts to go crazy for me and my predictions.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I thought Bayley would retain, and that's all I had written. And then I started thinking about Tiffany Stratton, and I thought, however, if Tiffany interferes, Jax will win, and then Tiffy would turn on her and become a women's champ. Turns out I'm over-predicting, and it went halfway the other way. So here are the most important parts about the Nia Jax match. She gave her the night before the Money in the Bank. She ran down to the ring trying to cash it in, but Bayley was distracted by it, took her out, and she fell to the ground and then lost.
But she at least didn't lose in a roll-up, so that's okay.
Isn't this very similar to what AEW was doing with their women's champ? Like a very similar storyline with the black and white chick with her protege turning on her.
Absolutely. Nobody seems to be saying it, so I'll say it. WWE is ripping off AEW in all kinds of different ways. And meanwhile, their progeny out on the interwebs are trashing AEW for doing the exact same things that WWE will turn around and do.
Yes.
And they won't mention it at all, that they're not even to say that they're doing it better. They're just not mentioning it at all.
You know what, Rosales? I don't pay attention to Nia Jax at all. But I
other than when she almost breaks somebody.
Yes. Exactly, in the my whole situation. But I don't know if, like, I'm just having a brain lapse, but has she always done Yokozuna's Banzai drop?
Oh no, her family was there. Isn't she related to?
Did you say bonsai or
Yeah.
bonsai?
Well,
Banzai,
no,
Banzai, whatever.
Man, if she landed on her head, it would be a bonsai.
But I just don't remember really that being her finishing move.
Yes, it's been that way for a
Has
little
it?
bit of
Okay.
a while since she came back, at least.
Okay.
That's been her finishing move, and no one
Okay.
has kicked out of it until Bailey. So at least they gave her that.
Okay. Because I
And then
saw
I-
it yesterday and I was just like, oh, Jesus. That they're giving her the fat guy move? Okay, I guess so. Sure.
Yeah, just don't give her Yokozuna's clothes.
I mean, I wouldn't take that move from her for any amount of money in the world. I wouldn't trust her with that.
Man, that
Get the
move
cheese
stinks.
under her.
If she did that to a parm wheel,
Yeah.
it could go automatically into shakers.
Yes, exactly.
Same joke.
Could get
Wow.
grated.
I expected ref shenanigans to lead to Punk winning, but it turned out the other way around.
You know, as a movie fan, as a drama fan, I always kind of get puzzled when people say things like the storytelling in the match is good. I never understood what exactly that meant. That match, the CM Punk Drew McIntyre match, it felt like the drama was really perfected well. That match was the best of sports, the best of entertainment, and the best of like drama and storytelling. And for the first time, I've actually noticed storytelling, like without having to be like had my hand held through it, and
Exactly.
it was really good for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, they had a couple. They did have a couple sloppy moments here and there. But
Oh yeah,
overall-
I just mean the overarching like
Yes.
the frustration between the three of them. I really
Absolutely.
yeah.
That I agree with wholeheartedly, Charles, because that really was that was the match, was the drama of it, and was the story, more so than the actual physical wrestling. All that really did was actually just intensify the story even more, showing their frustrations play out as the match gets longer and longer. Seeing Seth Rollins get involved with his whatever the fuck he was wearing as a referee yesterday. But it all culminated, and I think they ended it perfectly. I'm more than happy for Drew.
And this is where the story turned, because Punk had taken the bracelet off of McIntyre that has his wife's name and his dog's name on it, that he had previously taken off of Punk. And so it was kind of like a title versus title match or something. I don't know. It's, who gets to own the bracelet, I guess, wound up being. And when he saw that Seth Rollins had it on, who, as a referee, you pick something, something's dropped in the ring, you pick it up. Usually they put it in their pocket or they throw it away. In this case, he put it on his wrist.
Yeah, the second he did that, I knew what was going to happen.
Safekeeping.
I was like, oh, okay, I know where this is headed.
And so that distracted him, and he wound up laying hands on the referee, which caused the distraction, and wound up getting a nut buster.
Low blow.
Dick kick city.
And then a boot to the face, while
Boot to the
Rollins
face.
cried in the corner.
That he fucking put his forehead into.
Yeah.
Oh man, he had that, and then unfortunately his fucking elbow drop was so bad. Oh man, I just
Doesn't Punk always lose when he has the Bret Hart gear on?
I think he always breaks.
Well, like Ric Flair, like infamously when he wore red, he was losing. So I'm wondering if there's something to that outfit combination with him losing.
That very well could be. That very well.
I don't know anything about that. I don't pay attention to Punk. I don't like him. Said too much. So McIntyre
So you're happy
wound up
he
winning,
lost.
and I predicted that incorrectly. So my losing streak at the table.
Wait, so how did you come to choose the guy that you didn't like to win?
I just expected the streak of Punk wins over McIntyre to continue.
Okay.
Until maybe, early next year. So
I could see them. I could see this being a WrestleMania match. I really think there's enough in this, as long as they don't like exploit it every single week. You could probably milk this until WrestleMania.
And I thought that's where they were going with that. I mean, he has been on the massive CM Punk losing streak since CM Punk came back, and I expected that to continue. Now, I also thought that Priest would retain, but Judgment Day would interfere, furthering the rift in the group, because I saw the group breaking apart.
Well, you got that right.
And there's Finn Balor helping Gunther. He's Walter to real fans. And then looking like a bad boy. I'm a bad boy.
He does the Biden fucking smile.
I did a bad thing. I'm a bad boy. Yeah, you're definitely a bad boy. And cost him the match. And got his chain stuck in his hair.
The only problem I really had with this match is how it was the actual finish, because it just, like, I don't know, like they could have done it in a different way, where after Priest hits his bisexual chokeslam, he doesn't have to roll the fucking guy over 3 times to get close to the rope.
Bisexual chokeslam.
Like, it just was. Oh, like somebody, they could have, I don't know, whoever was the agent of that match could have came up with a little bit of a better finish that involved Finn somehow, or, you know, just choke slam the guy closer to the fucking ropes, because it makes no logical sense. Why you choke slam him in the middle of the ring and then roll him closer to the rope? He's already on his back. All you got to do is cover the fucking guy. Just cover him.
Logistically, you know why he rolled him over. It was so that spot could be done. But
exactly. But that's what kind of ruins it for me, because then you're just.
Somehow Palpatine returned, but in wrestling form.
Yes, I would say that's a very good equivalent. That is a very good equivalent, because it makes Damian Priest look fucking dumb. It really does.
Yeah.
I can't blame anybody for you losing but you, because if you didn't roll the guy over, you got the win.
I didn't take into consideration that at the last pay-per-view he didn't kick out when he was supposed to, and he might be punished for it.
Oh.
Because he saved face in the fact that he was the one who was cheated, and his faction turned on him. So now he's a baby face, and he can feud for not the belt for an undetermined amount of time. So, but Gunther will now hold his title for an extended period of time.
Pisses people off though, because everybody was so hyped when Priest won, wanted him to win. For whatever reason, he's the first Puerto Rican or whatever the fuck he is champion, first bisexual champion. I don't know, but he was the first something, and it just seems like you touted this guy, you got him to win, and now it's like, see ya, thanks.
He's the first champion to botch 3 pay-per-views in a row.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then.
That might be an exaggeration.
Definitely
And finally, I thought this was going to play out a little bit differently as well. I thought bloodline interference would be too much for Sikoa, and Sikoa would win, opening the door for Reigns to come back later, not this particular show, but later, and take it without having to beat Cody. But no, that's not where they're going with this. They went in a totally different direction. The first thing we had was Cody bringing out his dog for the last time, because the dog's getting too old to come out to the shows. And then he brought Arn Anderson out for the last time, because he's getting too old to come out to the shows.
Hey, that's an AEW reunion right there.
It is. And his seamstress came out. I don't know if she's getting too old to sew, but she put his jacket on him, and it was a very special night. And I thought he was putting on Thor wings.
That's what I thought too, to be honest.
He put on the Triple H mask from a couple of WrestleManias ago.
He put, I don't know if you can see you can't see my mouse.
That or Skeletor.
You look at the pattern on his back. If the wings on the side of the head were gold and the face was white, that's the mask he's got on.
Oh yeah.
Looky there. See?
Skeletor.
But and I chose this picture right here because that mask is too damn big. And when he kneeled down and they did that pose where they were looking down at him, he looked like a 5-year-old at Halloween. And It's not the most flattering, and I didn't want to choose the most unflattering shot for that.
Of course.
Solo showed his prowess by knowing ahead of time what was coming, the fall to the back and the uppercut.
Did you notice the crowd was kind of quiet during stretches of this match?
Yeah, well, they knew what was coming. They knew eventually it was going to be a battle royale, if you will.
Yeah.
And so they were really quiet, even when Sikoa was pulling out all of his high spots. Okay, and knocking Cody on his head, and going for the pins, and then Summer slamming him. Hey. It's a sidewalk slam or a Samoan slam or whatever you want to call it.
Samoan slam?
Slam or whatever.
Cody took to the air, and they brawled outside for a little while. Got upside down.
A tree of woe.
Yep. And then American Vodka got a spot. And then the boys showed up, and everybody got up on their feet and got excited. And then we had a Kevin Owens sighting, and then we had a Randy Orton sighting, and all of the boys went to the back to go get a beer. Meanwhile, in the ring, Cody decided he was just going to murder him, but took a spear instead. And, then this happened right here.
He messed up hard there, didn't he?
He jumped down and looked like he hurt himself really good.
Yeah.
Because he's like doing the whole, ooh.
Yeah, instantly he was grabbing that leg.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Now, let me go back real quick. No, come on now. Let me, what is it? There we go. And then I'll come over here. I got something to show you. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. I'll show this tab instead. Now, I'm not going to play this, but I will scrub through it. From this angle, you can definitely see him coming down. And this is newsworthy, folks. And we're going to analyze this and report on this for educational purposes. But we scroll down here, not playing the video, but we're scrolling down. This is just before the impact. Look at the shape of the leg. Looks completely normal. When he comes down on it, the calf and the knee strike the front board while the rest of the leg goes through the top. You see that?
Oh, yeah. Plus when the leg is kicking out.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See, his leg is completely twisted the wrong way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his butt right there.
Yeah, he's facing forward. Yeah.
So it got bent backwards. Boom. And he bounced off of that.
He might have dislocated his knee.
Yeah. And from that point on, he could not walk on that leg at all.
Oh. Okay.
And he's doing the Peter Griffin. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah.
And like Charles said, it's instant.
Yeah.
Let's go back over here.
Now, one question I would ask while we're looking at this, Charles, even though it's not pertaining to this particular, but since you said in the match between Jesus Christ, I'm blanking now, with Seth Rollins there and those other two guys that fought for
McIntyre and Punk?
Yes, thank you. Since there you said you were able to finally see what people are talking about with storytelling in a match, did you get the same feeling watching this match?
Yes, but in a less engaging fashion, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah,
because I thought this was going to happen. I mean, Rosales can actually attest to it.
You called it.
Yeah, and I don't want to be smarter than the company.
You are at least as smart as the company. Because everything I got wrong, you got right.
Yes, I'm telling you, between the two of us, we got to go down to Vegas and bet everything.
Yeah, and then we would put all the money on the stuff that you get wrong and on the stuff I get wrong.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And we'll lose big time. Speaking of losing big time, OTC, the original original
tables and chairs.
No, that's it.
Tribal Chief.
Tribal Chief, that's it. Original Tribal Chief. Which is available right now for sale on WWE.com.
Promo time.
How come I didn't get a shirt? And He comes in and he does his thing and takes him down. That's a nice dramatic shot there. Look at
that's
the
mid
zoom.
zoom. Yep.
Yes, the camera zoomed in for the impact to make it seem more than it was. And by the way, I didn't show it, but Roman landed on his feet.
Really? I missed that part.
Yes, he was bent over, but he was on his feet, and then just kind of rolled away from it. So he didn't.
So worse
he didn't,
than a cane bump on his knees.
Yes. Yeah. He's just basically he phoned it in, essentially.
Sure.
Cody saw him phone it in, got jealous. Roman didn't care, and Cody won. So that is what happened at the pay-per-view in the wrestling.
Overall, not too bad. Not
a bad
of a
show for
pay-per-view
seven matches.
No,
Warren,
and that's a
you get your
beautiful
nap
number.
in? I think so.
All right, the nap is still going. Perfect,
Yeah,
Warren.
wasn't the first match the Liv Morgan one? And that one had some dramatic elements to it too. Like
I didn't see that one though. That was on the way home. I got a text mid-drive coming from the movie theater saying Liv won. I'm like, what? That's exactly what I said. I'm awesome. That's what I am. I'm
Well, you're
awesome.
regardless.
People should pay more attention to what I'm doing. Batman. What's that sound?
Hell yeah.
What's that sound? That's a game, by the way, guys. What's That Sound is a game in which we try to guess what the sound is by listening to it multiple times. And then we take a guess to see what it is. And if we're right, we get a point. If we're wrong, nothing changes. Except that I think we're at that point where we need to do something real quick. Which one is it? Which one can do it for me? Nothing. Well, I'll tell you what. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
All right.
Wow. Okay. So, why did you ask about the Cody Rhodes match, Bob?
Because, like I said, a story, that's a big thing for me in wrestling.
Okay.
I like when a wrestling match does have a storyline to it that you can actually see in the ring, both done with the physical wrestling and through emotions they're showing. So it's nice. It excited me hearing you say that like you said, for really the first time, you've actually gotten to see that. Because when that does happen, it is a beautiful thing about that sport. That you don't really need, like you said, a commentator holding your hand, telling you, "Hey, this is what's happening. This is why they're doing this, and this is how you should feel about it."
Yeah.
Because the match itself should be able to convey that. And to me, that's a lot of what is lost in this art form, is the in-ring storytelling. Because a lot of times you have matches where it's, everybody's just either rushing to get to their big high spot, or just to the end of the match, or, they're not taking enough time to actually sell the drama of the story as much as they are selling a kick to the face where they're down for 5 minutes. So it was just very nice to see. And like I said, I just wanted to know if you felt the same about that Cody match, because like you said, you kind of see where all that's going. So I don't know if it kind of lessens the effect of the drama, because you can see what's about to happen.
On the inverse, the Liv Morgan match, when Dominic, like, how many times can you see somebody attempt to knock someone out with a chair or something and they move, or like that accidentally hit somebody else on purpose thing?
Yeah.
That twist, that was unique. The fact that Dominic ended up, betraying Rhea anyway, that was a different taste on that. But everything about the Cody Rhodes match, it felt like stuff I've seen before, where when Seth Rollins put the bracelet on his wrist, I knew automatically. I'm like, oh, that's going to be it's going to
play into it later on.
Right.
Yeah. It's Schrodinger's gun in writing parlances.
But it definitely worked in that match. It absolutely did work for everything that they needed to do, and that's what I most enjoyed about that match was the drama and the storytelling.
Right.
And
The
the
give and
and the
take.
psych.
How
Yes.
they all like lost their patience. They like the carrying on that like first, like because the ref was a key element and a dramatic character himself. The fact that McIntyre got frustrated with Rollins, and then CM Punk got frustrated with Rollins, and then the argument. I'm glad we could hear them talking too when Rollins said, you think you're the biggest guy in the world, focus on the match. And
usually it's a bad thing when you can hear it because the audience isn't saying anything,
No.
Yeah,
but
and
in this
usually
case
it's
it was
spots
good.
that you're hearing them discuss. But yes, they were. It was very good, and I appreciate that aspect too of being able to hear the in-ring conversation that isn't just somebody bellowing out the next spot, but actually pertains to the story. And I think that adds again to the overall ring psychology of wrestling that a lot of wrestlers lack today.
Yeah, and you need to be a decent actor, because when Rollins left after the pin, he seemed genuinely perturbed, and it was like, all right, that's really neat. That was the most dramatic thing I've seen that night. That's for sure.
And there was definitely one spot too when him and Punk were arguing with each other, and it was a callback to when Punk first came back into the WWE after AEW, where Rollins was pissed because he's standing there telling him, "Nobody wants you here. I don't want you here. Focus on this shit and leave me alone."
Yeah,
like that's great.
Yeah,
That's
you definitely
great
don't want
storytelling.
people coming around and thinking that you guys are going to be going and having Denny's after the show.
Yeah.
Exactly, especially in this era where there is really no kayfabe whatsoever anymore.
Yeah.
No, they're going to
everybody's a
Denny's after the
tweener.
show.
Yes, and
So
everybody's in on it.
Let's get this going here. Let me pause it for a second so I can make it biggie screen.
Ooh.
And then, can you hear it all right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit! Oh! Oh shit! Oh!
Sounds like me. Oh snap! See, change the language. Somebody got hit by a car.
Warren is alive. I can hear him back there.
Yeah, I've been listening. Someone got hit by a car. That's what I think.
I think it's like a plastic or vinyl container that's empty. That's fallen or something like that.
Rosales, you're muted. Yes, you are. Unmute yourself, sir.
Wow. I've been talking since I got back.
Whoops.
Making jokes and everything, man. Nobody was laughing. It was kind of like when I was back on stage. But yeah. Okay, so we'll go with Charles. Charles thinks it's something plasticky.
Like a bin or something.
Mm-hmm. Bob, what do you think's going on, Bob?
I'm kind of on the same page. If you heard Warren, it sounds like somebody driving into some sort of electric pole and causing a big surge.
Whoa.
Ooh. Is that where you sit, Warren?
Where did I sit? Where?
Is that your guess on what the sound is?
Oh yeah. Oh, on the sound side, someone was talking to me too. Oh, I think it's a car. I think it's a car because of the way they're like, "Oh snap!" I'm trying to use good language here. Oh snap!
It's because you have company, isn't it?
This is true.
Hi, Warren's friend. Did you know he was live on the interwebs worldwide?
You're gone
Nobody
now.
cares. Nobody cares. All right. Well, let's find out what happened.
Oh shit!
Ooh, whoa!
Yeah. Wow.
So if you guessed celebration balloons let go in through the air, contacting low-hanging wires and then shorting out the entire neighborhood, you were correct.
Bob had some of that though. It
And
was
so did you. It
electric.
was very plastic. Very plastic, those balloons. They were Mylar. So
Jesus.
That was scary to see.
big dummies. My goodness. These people out there.
Yeah.
All right. So now
So
you
help me if I was on the internet when that happened. I would have been pissed.
It also goes to show how weak our infrastructure is, where fucking balloons can just take down electricity that well and that quickly.
Yeah, it's the what was that game? What was that game? It's the SimCity version of stepping on a plug. I was recording that show. What are you doing? Now I want to purchase tickets
every day.
I want to say it's a wheel. It feels like it's a train where there's a wheel that's got something on it, and like it sounds like revolutions, like like maybe a flat tire or something. I don't know if trains don't have flat tires, but it sounds like something like that.
Train tires are pretty flat, I think. Yeah, but yes. Bry believes it's a train.
Yeah, right on, Bry.
Okay. And Bob, how do you feel?
Honestly, the feeling I'm getting is this sounds like somebody in a kitchen with a TV on in the background while they're chopping something on a cutting board.
Oh, very, very specific. I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Warren?
Yep. I thought it was a car. I mean, I really thought it was a car because it was like, oh, snap. So I didn't think it was that. I mean, got me there. That's all I really got to say.
So you think the second sound was a car, or are you still referring to the first sound?
No, the second sound was a car. That's what I thought.
Okay, every sound is going to be a car from this point out, I believe.
It's got to hit eventually.
Because, you got to, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. You ain't going to fool me again. Let's see what it was. If you guessed angry cat torturing a sick dog, then you are correct.
Wild.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look who just woke up. Welcome to the main stage, Borderline Studios. Remember, folks, the ATM is still available.
It's pretty sick. What's up, guys? That'll wake somebody up.
We are playing a game. We're playing a game.
Nice.
It's called What's That Sound? It's part of the lightning round, which, oh, you know what I forgot to do? Son of a gun. I can't believe I forgot to do that. I forgot to do this.
What time is it? It's game time! Game time, 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 game time. What time is it?
That sounds like sleigh bells.
You're
That's
getting
gonna
me
be
pumping, dude. I was starting to rock my head there.
That's going to be my wrestling intro because I game the system. When I show up, it's game time. Yeah.
It's game time.
But yeah, what we're doing is we're listening to sounds to see if we can identify what it is. And we'll listen to it once, we'll listen to it twice. If it's a short sound, we'll listen to it 3 times. And then we'll take a moment to clockwise guess, starting with Charles, Bob the Goon, Warren, and now you.
Sounds
okay.
good.
If you get it right, then you can give yourself a point. If you don't get it right, then don't do anything at all. We don't need to know.
Can I still give myself a point? Okay.
Yeah. Sure, you can do that, cheater. So let's listen to the next sound.
Someone fell down the stairs.
Think about what it could be, but you don't have much time because
A
time
whip?
is up. A whip? Is that what you say?
Yeah.
It could be a whip.
Or
It's
something
possible.
being thrown in a whipping motion.
Okay. Bob, what do you think it is?
It sounds like Grandma fell down with her plastic walker. Because I can kind of hear somebody at the very end of the clip, very like weakly going, "Oh no,
No, no." Yeah, I shot that.
Warren, car? Is a car, Warren?
Warren, is it a car? Yeah, it's a car for Warren.
Warren's response was,
No, he's got company, so he may be he may have his mouth full. Haktua.
No,
"Oh,
no,
oh, oh,
no, she spat on that thing and shined it up. I'm good.
oh."
Can you play it one more time? Cause I had it, but I just. Oh,
Unbelievable.
so someone's walking.
oh no."
That and
It sounds like a step ladder or a ladder. That's what I think it is. Or they
Step
fell
ladder
down,
or ladder. Okay.
or fell down the stairs. Those
Fell
are
down
my
the stairs. Final answer. Fell down the stairs.
yes,
And
sir.
what do you think?
I'm gonna say, yeah, it sounds like somebody fell while playing music, because I hear the strum of a guitar or something in the background. So maybe the band might have someone fell off the stage from the band or something. That's
All
my
right.
final answer. Someone
That's what
fell.
Austin says. So
with
let's see what actually happened.
Buffering is what happened.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Damn
no.
neighbor's doing his work again.
Stealing my Wi-Fi.
I'm stealing his Wi-Fi. You talking about? Jeez. Here we go. Wow.
Oh no.
Okay. That's
And a nice helmet now.
Well done.
If you said internet acrobatics gone bad, you are correct. And I believe that was somebody added a song to the back of that saying "En mi culo."
okay. Yeah.
Wow. Very
Let's
nice.
see. Oh, look at that. A man falling off a chair with a guitar. That's really close. I have a little delay. Well, the postal service goes like that there. Here we go. Okay. Next sound. Here we go.
Oh my lord.
What in the world could that be? Time's up. Charles.
Sounds like ice skating, but a cat as well? A cat ice skating?
A cat on
cat.
ice skates.
Right.
This was the cut section of the Olympics.
Finger in the mousetrap. Oh, look at that. A toddler teasing a cat is what Brian thinks. What do you think there, Bab?
I'm gonna say this is a cat that's upset about being in a bath.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Warren, was it a car?
No, it was not a car. It was a sound.
It was a sound.
Yeah.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
Good. I think that counts.
I think you're about to get your first point.
Every time you come to me, I have the answer, but then you have to play it again, and I'm like, I'm waiting. So it's like,
But I don't have to play it again. See, that's the point of me putting these graphics together like this, so that you can do that. Oh, by the way, this is available on YouTube. If you go to my channel and want to cheat and go ahead, you can see that ahead of time. It's also available on the website, the rosalescomics.com/Sunday. If you didn't get to see all this and you wanted to play by yourself, you could do that. You could play with yourself
I
at my
do that
website.
anyway.
Yeah. Austin.
I'm gonna say also, yeah, that's some sort of cat either wanting food or having some sort of weird meow or something. Yeah, it's wanting attention.
All right, so we got a couple of cats.
Sorry, trying to stretch.
Damn.
Oh.
Oh.
What the heck is this?
Oh. Okay, got it. It's a possession.
Oh my god.
That was if you guessed a 9-year-old sucking on helium till he passed out, you are correct.
Wow.
And I don't know if you noticed it or not, but the dad reached out and caught the balloon.
He said, "Forget the kid, get the balloon. There's still more helium in that. This can get.
It's gonna float away, boy. It's gonna float away."
Poor kid's going to need rehab.
Save some for me, kid.
Helium.
Right. Dude, the way his eyes went in the back of his head and he started to pass out, I'm like, oh, okay.
Seems like a sport. Ping pong gone wrong. Well, someone fell, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think someone's falling.
Someone's definitely falling, that's for sure. Final answer from me.
Okay, Charles, you say falling?
Yeah.
Someone falling. Bob, what do you say?
Fuck yeah, somebody falling from a fucking tree or something. Yeah.
Okay, all right. What do you say, Austin?
Oh, I mean, let's see. I'm gonna go with somebody is in a dark room, like searching for stuff, trying to figure their way around or something, because there's a lot of banging and stuff turning over. So maybe they're trying to find their way through a dark room or something.
That's a really good guess. Sometimes you see them videos where it's like the security camera's got night vision.
Right,
you can
right.
see what's going on.
Yeah.
And let's see if that's what this is.
Oh.
Well, he did fall.
Yes, but he isn't a man falling. But if you said old ass dog not navigating stairs, you are correct. Final one, guys. Think about what that could be.
I think it's a boat sailing through.
Let's do this. There you go. You think it's a boat sailing through. All right. That's what Warren says. Bob, what do you think it could be?
Yeah, I'm kind of on that page. This is a boat, and we have some sort of bell in the background that's going off. Maybe a nice little breezy day out there. Got some birds chirping. It sounds pretty comfy.
Like somebody doing a ASMR cooking video outside kind of thing?
Yeah, ASMR fishing. Yeah, there you go.
ASMR fishing. Charles, what do you say?
I think it's a farm animal. It's one of those bells.
With bells. Yeah.
What kind of farm animal has a bell? Charles.
Can it be a
We
cow,
need
a
more.
lamb?
Yeah.
Okay, Charles says it's a cow. What do you say, Austin?
Well, dang, now I want to steal his because maybe we need more cowbell. I think, yeah, it just sounds like what do you call those things you have hanging in your backyard or something in porch,
Like
wind like some wind chimes going like a nice deck and some breezy day. So yeah,
Someone's out in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming, drinking a cup of
Mm.
coffee, listening
Exactly.
to his wind chime, and
That's quite
It's Kevin
bragging about
Costner.
his day, and
Kevin Costner wondering if Horizon 3 will ever happen.
got hashtag living the dream on the screen. Let's see what it was.
Hey,
We needed more cowbell.
If you said a cow stealing somebody's shoes who's camping, you are correct. And that, my friend, is how you play What's That Sound?
We need more cowbell.
how would you be able to hear the shoes? That's not fair.
Right.
You know, the point is never to get it exactly right. The point is to be entertained by being wrong, and that's yeah, it's the basis of magic. That's what
Yes.
be entertained that I fooled you. Ha 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 ha. I am Zeno at all magician. Look at you, you are an idiot. So,
Evil French laugh.
there's the evil French laugh right there. I feel like a pastry now. I look like a pastry. Where was I at? Oh, there it is. There it is. What's going on in your world there, Austin?
Just chilling. Just woke up not too long ago, and yeah, I heard some of your stuff earlier, some of the stream earlier, making some breakfast, and then decided to hop on. But now just chilling.
All right.
Chilling. Saw
All right.
Deadpool and Wolverine a few times. Enjoyed that.
Did you?
I did.
You saw that? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I liked it a lot. I thought it was
Now, we don't do spoilers on this show.
okay. So no spoilers.
So
Flash.
yes. And well, let's spin the wheel and see what our next topic is, guys. Oh, I did it without you putting it on the screen.
It's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Should I spin it again because it wasn't visible?
If you want to, that's more than fair.
Let's do that then. It's more than fair.
Let's do it.
More than
Let's do
fair.
it again.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Even better. Perfect.
We're
Son
sticking
of a
with it.
gun. There you go. Now, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh yeah. I saw. Have you guys seen the show? The new Batman Cape
Oh,
Crusader?
yes.
A lot of people have seen it. Some people have not seen it. I have seen one episode of it. So for this, we're going to go with just the headlines of the reviews and then talk about it.
Who needs the facts when you have headlines? They're more dramatic than the truth. Just the headlines, that's all you need. That's better than calling this gossip.
Okay. Now, I lost audio for a second there. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, I hear you.
Oh, good. I can hear you now. Yeah, my audio completely cut out with that because apparently I'm having good times electronically. So, according to Den of Geek, Batman Cape Crusader is a more mature animated series. And according to The Verge, Batman Cape Crusader is a pulpy throwback to the golden age of DC animation. While Rolling Stone said Batman Cape Crusader, The Dark Knight returns to its pulp fiction roots. And The Hollywood Reporter says Amazon's Dark Knight series entertains, though rarely soars. While Film Threat, I believe it is, says it's a reinvention of a classic. And The Dark Knight returns to his roots in a dark Batman follow-up. So they kind of all agree that we should love it. And I don't remember Batman's roots having a female penguin. And I also don't remember them having some of the other changes that they made. It seems like to me like this was part of the uh, previous administration's attempt at making a more modernized version with more socially acceptable takes on characters, if you will. But Bob, what did you think?
So I had the I'm going to say I had the displeasure of watching this whole first season. I watched it straight through. Some of the animation I thought was okay looking. There's a lot of scenes I notice of just very static animation, where we might have a big group scene that's maybe set in a party of sorts, and you have two characters who are interacting and talking, and that's the only animation going on. Everybody else is dead silent and not moving an inch. Stuff like that just absolutely kills me, because how could we be in a party setting and there's no background noise, no background talking, nothing. Aside from that, some of the changes they made, like you said, female penguin, I don't see how that helps anything or adds to any of the story. Barbara Gordon being a DA and not really leaning into any of like the back roots really, but having like a stupid kind of wink at the audience reference where you see Barbara Gordon at one point in one of the episodes where some men are coming after her, grab a actual baseball bat. So there you go, Bat Girl. Great, thanks for that. It just, I don't know. The voice acting isn't really all that good either. Some things I do like that they are doing, which would be the voice acting that is done. I can't remember the gentleman's name who is voicing Bruce Wayne in Batman. But he does. Thank you very much, Austin. But he does a very good job, I would say, with showing that Batman is the actual persona, because he, as long as nobody's around him, he is talking in the Batman voice constantly. The Bruce Wayne voice, kind of higher, softer tone, only comes out when he's actually in the public. So I do like that, because again, that's showing that Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the actual person. So that kind of thing I do like. I definitely don't like the changes with Harley Quinn.
Did you? I have a question. Did you hate every character change?
It just, I didn't hate them for the fact that they were just changed. I hate them for the fact that the changes added nothing, and the story itself is just kind of, to me anyways, in my opinion, it didn't really capture me in any way. A lot of it for me felt kind of rushed. I thought we would have like more time with a lot of these characters, especially like the without being like too spoilery, the Basil. I'm fucking up his last name here, but the guy who ends up eventually being Clayface. Sorry if I spoiled it for you there, but you know, if you watch Batman the Animated Series, you should know this already. I do like a lot of the kind of Easter eggs and tie-ins that they do to Batman the Animated Series.
I didn't get, so I saw, well, I guess this is, maybe I shouldn't say it. No,
No,
it's
go
not
ahead,
really
say
a
something.
spoiler. It's not, I just, because you've seen the show, I haven't. So I saw they put the Fisher Lois Lane in there.
Yes.
That
Yes,
didn't make any sense to me.
No,
why is
and
she...
see that's where kind of I'm confused, because like Batman the Animated Series didn't really give you like a specific timeline that this was. We had a lot of Art Deco, but you know, cars all look like they're kind of in from the 40s, 50s.
Right.
But then you do
but you
have
still
like
got
this real
skyscrapers and technology and
exactly yes, and the high tech aspect is still there, as opposed to this where this is very low tech.
Yeah, it's 19. That's the other thing because when they came out and talked about the show and said this is the whole point was we want to take the technology away from Batman, and I was kind of like, I mean,
yeah, which is sort of interesting.
Yeah.
I do actually like the Batmobile design, because it does look like a precursor to what we see in Batman the Animated Series.
Does he continue to run over criminals?
I mean, so.
I mean, he ran
not
over
like
some
in like that.
criminals. In that first episode, he mowed some dudes down, and
Yeah,
you know, they shouldn't have been in the street harassing a woman.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, I do like the darker tones and the more mature and more serious aspect. From what I've heard, Bruce Timm, in that a lot of these stories were stories they did want to do in the original animated series, but for obvious reasons couldn't, because that was just more focused on kids. So the mature tone and dark themes I really like.
Well, let me ask you
Fat
this.
Alfred is just stuff
Alfred
like that
was
that
fat
just-
to begin with.
I guess.
If you go back to the old comic books, the first ones around, he did carry a gun. He did have a fat Alfred, and but there's
that is true. He was not as reliant on technology. He was much more detective.
yes, he was more of a detective than he was anything else. And one of the things that people are saying things online. I have no idea if they're true or not. Like Bruce Wayne is married. And adopted all the Robins in one shot or whatever.
I did see all the Robins shot,
and his wife is bisexual or something like that.
Well,
in the
there is-
40s.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, not only is there bisexuality in the there obviously is some there is a lesbian kiss, which I don't know how that would have went over in the 40s, but I don't think it would have been as well accepted as
They wouldn't have talked about it. They would have had it would have happened.
Right, it would have happened. You
about
just wouldn't exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how public it would have been.
I mean, overall, it's just like I said. I don't think any of the changes made to stable characters, especially like the Penguin, I don't see how that's in service of.
So
of
is it
a better
literally
story.
she's just the Penguin, but now she's a woman, like same kind of
As well,
character
though.
aspects?
No, it's not that. From what I saw, they really revamped the character and the motivations of the character, and gave the Penguin 2 kids that she, promptly turned around and murdered. But they were leaning on the ideas of like the old 70s kind of movies that were talking about the 40s, like Big Bad Mama and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's the type of character they turned her into. Now, why they had her vamping in the very beginning and why anybody would take it is nobody's guess. I don't understand that at all.
Yes, and especially when you see what the character is, and the introduction to the character is supposed to be like a kind of intimidating thing, as she's about to like interrogate and kill a guy that she's trying to get some information out of that could fucked her over in some way. It doesn't come off very intimidating at all, especially when she pulls out her fucking umbrella and like a 2-inch blade comes out of the tip. Like, if that's something you could get away with carrying legally in the UK, that you're really not going to frighten anybody with that. I don't even think in the 1940s somebody would have been scared of a 2-inch blade, as everybody was getting straight razor shaved back in those days. So, like, I don't know. To me, this isn't.
I don't know, Bob. 2 inches can get the job done.
Listen, stop. I don't know who of my exes you've been talking to, but I can neither confirm nor deny that. But for me, it was, like I said, nothing that happened here would put me off from watching season 2, whenever that does come out.
Still willing to give it. Hope it gets better type.
Yes, and to bring up your point with the inclusion of the Fleischer Lois, I'm kind of hoping that leads into like almost a maybe world's finest meetup in the second season, and having that kind of Fleischer design of Superman. I think.
Well, I don't think that there's going to be a second season simply because they shopped this around to be distributed.
Well, so when Amazon picked it up, they did pick it up for 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Invincible type deal. They picked it up for 2 seasons, and that second season is already in production and everything. Yeah.
Is it going to be? You think it's going to be more girl bossy than this one was?
I don't know. I hope they don't lean into that. I want them to keep leaning into these noir stories, especially when you have Matt Reeves as an executive producer. Step up and say something. Please tell me you're actually giving real input here. Because I always get nervous when I see J.J. Abrams as an executive producer listed, because in my opinion,
Here come the lens flares.
Yep, lens flares. And not only that, but that's a guy who's notoriously known for being able to create and start something really well, and always having a hard time figuring out how the fuck to finish it off.
Right. I mean, well, I would hope that Bruce Timm would come in, But even then, I will say, like, I think what's kind of disappointing for me, or not like why I'm not rushing to jump on it, is there's a lot of things that they've said that I like you're doing a lot of the 1940s, bad 19, noir, all this stuff, even like the low tech stuff I can get on board with because of the time frame and all that type of stuff. But it's like, also, like you said, those stories and all this are going to be grittier. They're going to be more, towards adults and stuff. And so I love all that. Now I just wish you would do it with the characters, because we haven't gotten that with the actual characters and Lord Penguin and I get what they're trying to do, and I think Bruce Timm's probably coming from a place of like, I have to do something so drastically different than the animated series, with the storytelling. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm not really excited to say. I'm going to watch it and hope it's at least enjoyable.
Absolutely. But I mean, the whole thing that captured all of us about the animated series, I think, was that it was very faithful to the character. It was dovetailing itself off of the Burton verse, basically.
Even being for kids, they managed to tell very adult stories still.
They did. They had stories that did carry a lot of weight with them emotionally, and that they were great.
Originally, the original series was debuting. It debuted during Sunday nights, so it was not intended necessarily for the younger audience. It was more intended towards the more adult audiences. However, those audiences at that time were not the ones buying toys. This was still during the occasion where children were buying toys. We've now reverted back to, we lost Charles. I was fixing to throw to him. That's why I interrupted. So, Charles.
We'll keep going until he comes back.
Or if not, it was glad to have you. Warren, did you happen to see any of this? Or were you too busy watching the Olympics? What did you feel about the cheese wheel rolling competition, Warren? Nothing? Okay.
Warren, how would you, in your own words, solve the conflict between Palestine and Israel? That's exactly perfect. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself.
There's a bomb big enough to fix everything.
Warren, who are you voting for in 2024?
There are no good choices.
I think most people are on the same page. Nobody.
But I mean, to get back on a point here, if you're a Batman fan, animated series, or just otherwise, there's a lot of good things in here for you, and there's a lot of nods and a lot of wins. Yeah, I absolutely think so. And another thing I liked was seeing villains kind of brought back from the past. And when I mean the past, I'm talking about the 60s Batman TV show. You have a villain who shows up from that show into here, King Tut, which when I was a kid watching that show, not in the 60s, but in reruns, he, along with Egghead, was always one of my favorite Batman TV show villains because they were just so ridiculous. Vincent Price as Egghead, and his whole thing was his head was shaped like an egg, and he always had like trick eggs on him, exploding eggs, gas eggs. And then you had King Tut, who is thus featured in this new Batman show, whose whole thing is he thinks he's fucking King Tut.
And that character was created specifically for the 60s series too. Him and Egghead.
Only if they got Steve Martin to voice it.
Oh, look at that. I interrupted with a promo. Go down to Amazon.com and purchase yourself a hardcover copy of the Grimm Tales of Rainbow Falls, written by yours truly. It's the Rainbow Falls Saga, Rise of the Master Fish, Book 1. Get it today. But you were saying?
I was just saying, it's. I think this like I said, they're getting a second season. It's going to be interesting to see where this show goes, especially with like the seeds that they're planting with the Harley Quinn character, because they are kind of planting some seeds that we might have a Joker show up in this at some point. A lot of hints towards that. And again, her redesign of Harley Quinn, not really. Nothing to brag about, nothing to write home about. It really is fucking ugly. It really kind of is. Overall, though, I would say this is probably a 7.5 out of 10 for me personally from all 10 episodes that I watched. Like I said, the animation does look really good, but there's a lot of times where there's a lot of static background animation that's just not doing anything, and it at some points does look a little too clean and gives you kind of like that vibe from like these most recent DC animated movies, like the Crisis on Infinite Earths, like that, not really like cel shaded, but almost looks like it could be like a CG animation that's done. I'm not an animation guy. Rosales, you could probably touch up on that more than I could.
I'm not touching anything. I'm married.
Oh, all right. There goes my wish. But anyways, overall, I think most people will be accepting to it. I think most people are going to like it. But if some of the hardcore fans might just, like me, might not take so kindly to some of these changes that they did make regarding characters.
It's understandable.
Okay. Warren, did you happen to see it? You still? Thought you were still on the can.
No, I thought I saw it, and then didn't I say it?
Maybe you were muted. Who knows? Recap.
So I'm gonna go with. I heard it and I said it, and then someone falling. I'm gonna go with that again.
Oh no! Yep. Good morning, Warren. We're not playing that game anymore. We're talking about the Batman Cape Crusader.
Oh,
he said someone falling. Oh no! The only thing I read about it.
I thought it looked good when I saw the preview. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really comment on it. I heard good things about it.
I've heard good things about My Frankenstein, written by yours truly, a graphic novel that's available at rosalescomics.com. Get yourself a signed and numbered copy today.
Right, Bob?
I think Bob took his opportunity to go to the bathroom. But yeah.
Wait, you guys couldn't hear me take a piss, could you? Because that was 100% a great guess. Okay, because I did take this opportunity to go to the bathroom. Just wanted to make sure you couldn't hear my stream on stream. That's all.
Streaming on stream. Stream on stream. That's an OnlyFans channel, isn't it?
Oh,
I think it would be.
Yeah.
I got no F's.
What's the weather like where you guys are at? We're going to get close to 100 degrees here.
Oh,
let's see, it's 10 o'clock. It's probably already 100 degrees.
It's been humid. It's been humid this whole week, and the rain has just been on and off. It's just been gross, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it's 98 and fair right now.
98 and I think it's 98 and unfair.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
It's highly unfair.
Let's get together this week. Okay, there's some. Sorry, I'm catching up on some stuff I didn't do earlier.
No, you're fine. But yes, I would suggest everybody give the show a watch. Form your own opinion on it. You might like it, you might not. You might enjoy some of the changes. You might think they're absolutely fucking stupid, which is okay because changes to main characters and especially staple characters can be fucking dumb, especially when they're done for really no logical or even story reason whatsoever.
I will say, I think too, at the same time of that, I think I'm definitely, at least personally, I'm more okay with it happening with something like Batman now, because look, we've had how many years of solid Batman interpretations. For the most part, they keep to the lore, and we've never had anything drastic like this. I can think of where they really go and reach into it. So I'm okay with things like that after time after we've had a great Batman animated adaptation in the animated series and other things, Justice League and stuff. And so I don't mind if you want to change some things and have some fun. Now the character is at that place where we can do that with not just comic book audiences but general audiences as well. But yeah, if you're going to do it, make it interesting, make it, do something that's not just some rehash or something that's,
Do it.
Or, yeah, for whatever, for the culture, for whatever is happening, social norms, or
So Austin thinks you should get it out of your system. Just do it. Get it out of your system.
Just do it.
When you grow up, then you can come back and make a better Batman. You didn't confirm or deny any of the things that they're alleging on the Twitter there, Bob.
As far as, I'm sorry, say that.
About
give me an alleged thing again.
Batman being married to a bisexual woman who helped him adopt about 7 Robins.
If that, I will say this: if that is true,
it wasn't true.
No, that just must have been an episode that I dozed off in. Because I did watch all 10 of these episodes like straight, like right on through, like when it got released. So because there may be some things I either ignored or was just looking at Twitter while it was happening, because there were parts that were just boring to me, that I was just like, okay, let me play with my phone while I listen to this in the background. But
right.
So some things I cannot confirm nor deny. I would say just check it out and see how these changes make you feel and go from there. Because again, people could like them, people might not. My only cause for concern is when I see major characters getting changes like this, and I see kind of the seeds that they're laying and where they're maybe going and who they might be bringing in another season. That's what gives me cause for concern, because if you're willing to do such a radical change in Harley Quinn, I don't see why you wouldn't be willing to do such a radical change in somebody like Joker.
Yeah, Joker's going to be completely different whenever he shows up in the show.
Yeah, he'll be working vaudeville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's my baby. Oh, hey, watch out for the flower, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be...
I hope I get that job. I hope
they went kind of like the Cesar Romero route, seeing as how they're kind of touching on like the 66 show, bringing in King Tut. I'd be okay with that.
You'll never catch me, Batman. Bryce says, here yesterday it was crazy hot inside. We don't really have air conditioning, and brick insulated houses are bad in the summer. You're up in the UK, aren't you, Brian? What is that in Celsius out there? Is it like 21 or something? What's hot in England? That's what I want to know. What's hot in England?
13.
I remember I saw a video of some person from the UK like put out their popsicle in the summer in the middle of the sun, watched it melt or whatever. And then someone from Vegas said, "Bet I'll raise you one." Went outside and cracked an egg on the concrete and watched it start cooking on the sidewalk.
Yeah, because let's see, if it was 23 out, that's 75 in Fahrenheit, and that's where we here in the U.S. keep it cool. That's
yeah.
We set our AC to 75 so that we can cool down in a nice British heat wave. So I think it's amusing. Yeah, we're up there close to 39, 40 degrees Celsius today in Texas, at least. So.
Oh man, Texas. I can't. I love Texas, but there's no way I could live there.
Yeah.
I love it, but I got a lot of family in Houston, and every time we go, it's like as soon as you step off the plane, you're like covered in sweat, and, humidity, and then you guys go through like all 7 seasons in a day sometimes. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You'll get a hurricane, and then you'll get the heat, and then you'll get.
We'll get like this brief, quick shower come through,
right.
And then by the time it's over and past and you realize, wait, did it rain? You can see the sidewalk actually start drying up, from the heat. So
yeah,
you can watch that. It's like seeing those time lapses, but it's not.
Yeah, but in real time.
It's in real time, yeah. Look how fat my hand is. Good gosh. ADHD, ladies and gentlemen, ADHD.
Anyone here seen the Rebel Moon cuts yet?
You mean where they added back in all the stuff that was on the cutting room floor?
Something like that. I don't know. Something.
No. I've not seen the Dead Pixel remix of Rebel Moon. I saw the first version of it, the first movie, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather watch Seven Samurai or, the Magnificent Seven,
Magnificent Seven. Literally anything else that this is based off of.
or Battle Beyond the Stars, because they did that better. It's the same movie, Battle Beyond the Stars. Roger Corman, go watch it. It's a classic, and it's everything that Rebel Moon aspires to be.
All I can say is that the first part, the director's cut, somehow got worse. And it added 2 hours.
Shocker.
It's kind of like having a uniparty in politics. One view is not the best. You got to have input from other people. And somebody would tell you, hey, look, there's a dead pixel in there. Get that sensor changed.
You would think.
Around 30 degrees Celsius. Hang on, I'm fixing to do some math. 86. So yeah, when we're conserving energy, it would be 86 degrees Fahrenheit here. That's what 30 degrees Celsius is. So man, yeah, I'm looking forward to sweater weather. When it hits 86 degrees around here, man, we will feel the wind chill us, because that's not hot. That's not. If you don't feel like when you walk outside, like if you have to feel like you just stepped into a wood fire oven. That's how you know it's hot outside in Texas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, the trees will spontaneously combust. That's how we get wildfires out here in Texas. Not like in California where it's a gender reveal.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, it is already, let me do it here. Boom. It's already 33.8889 here in Texas, Bry. So we's a scorching now. So we're hot in Texas. Not the rest of the world. Other parts of the countries are sissies, like where Austin lives, where they can't take it. Then again, if I was to get off the plane at LAX, I'd have a hard time breathing.
Yeah. A lot of
I
can
can feel my lungs. I feel that I actually own lungs.
Right. Whenever people have friends or whatever come to Vegas and visit us, they're like, I just had some friends come to Vegas last week, and they're like, I can breathe. Like, I actually breathe better.
No, it might be due to the humidity index. You guys are around a lot of salt water, or it surrounds you. It engulfs you.
Yeah.
It's just part of you.
Vegas, we're in a bowl. People don't realize we're in this
my God. It's like
big giant bowl. It's in the middle of it.
Like dry ramen.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, yeah. That's exactly what we are.
Yeah. It's you're in a fishbowl because it's like 100% humidity. So yeah, that definitely makes a difference there. It's kind of like being in a sauna with the steam turned up all the way.
Right.
Ooh.
So yeah, you got me there, Bri. You are a tiny island, a small island, and yet you rule the world. What's the odds? That's great.
A little bit of breaking news this morning.
What's that?
Deadpool has officially become the highest-grossing R-rated film domestically, beating out Passion of the Christ. So, Deadpool beat Jesus this morning.
Amazing.
Wow, Charles would love to hear that, but I think he's got his own show that he does that he's got to prepare for, and so if you're out and about, I got a link to him, I guess, on the YouTube here on the website, not the website, but in the description, in the YouTube description, you can at Charles there, follow him, like him, subscribe, and hear the weekly news sometime during the week. Weekly. Yes. Let's see. There's no air conditioning, and the walls are packed with a type of foam, great for winter, but in summer. Do you not have electricity in England? I wouldn't imagine that the houses are still made of peat. I only know what they show me on PBS, so I'm an idiot.
That's fair.
Yeah, as far as I know, everybody still dresses like it's 1972.
Right.
Again, I'm an idiot when it comes because they only import the worst comedies and Doctor Who.
And
So,
Doctor Who.
fans don't really. I'd assume they rust with the humidity.
Yeah. It just stops turning.
It'd be like talking to a person who has a spit talker. Haktua. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Did you know she was at the SummerSlam?
Really?
Yes, she was.
Yes.
No, I did not. What was she doing there?
What was she doing there?
Just in the audience, or did they bring her out?
Well, she wasn't making enemies, if you know what I mean. No, I don't know. I don't. I think she was there to enjoy the sports.
Okay.
Entertainment.
I saw her on Bill Maher's podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was telling Rosales about that earlier. Very, very weird appearance. Not weird for her, but Bill Maher himself was being pretty fucking weird and creepy.
Why? That's just old man talk. I don't know. It's just old man talk.
I mean, it's old man talk.
He's gonna actually pull it out and show her. He's.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but you don't think it's a little weird for
it's
a
not the kind of
67-year-old man?
It's not the kind of thing that normally happens. You don't okay, so you're 21. Yeah, we can talk about porn. Let's talk about some job opportunities for you with OnlyFans.
He was making good point because he told her straight up. You probably learned that from porn, which most people my generation are learning a lot of stuff from porn and thinking that porn is, what really happens during sex and stuff.
But you're saying it's not creepy for an old man to come up to a young girl and say, you know what, if you made instructional videos, I'd buy them.
Okay, if he said that, I didn't.
That's what he's saying. That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah, he told her to start a podcast and
to
seriously talk about sex. Yeah. So my question is, would you take serious sex advice from a girl who spits on dick?
I wouldn't, but I promise you there are a ton of people that would. That's what that was the point he was trying to make. Okay, you're now in this business, right? You got to be more.
A lot of those people who do that, a lot of those people that would watch that and favor that and fan that and give her lots of money would also wind up stalking her.
I think it could go either way because I think there is a market for certainly I'm sure girls want to hear other girls talk about gossip, sex talk, all that stuff. I know there's podcasts for that, but
I think it could be onto something because you know what? If she did that, but actually had somebody co-hosting with her,
that's what he was. Keep it
some
serious,
sort of an expert.
You're actually talking about real for your generation, these type of issues and stuff.
So he was pitching a show. He was
basically,
pitching
because his whole point was you got shot into stardom from this one thing. He basically, in a nice way, told her you don't really have talent. So now you've got to if you want to stay, if you don't want this to be your 15 seconds of fame, then you got to figure out something, and turn this into whether it's that podcast.
Yeah.
You got to lean into now what everybody knows you for, which is that
being drunk on the street.
Right.
That's what you know for, being drunk on the street.
And her skills with in the bedroom.
So I would think this could actually be a revival if anybody remembers the old 90s. I think it was on MTV and then on the radio as well. It was called Loveline with Dr. Drew.
Yeah. Yes.
And they would talk mostly to the younger generation who had actual questions about different topics in the sex category and actually get some decent help and I want to say, I don't know if it was fucking Jimmy Kimmel who fucking some other asshole hosted it with him that would be the entertainment, side to Dr. Drew's, more informational and, factual statements and things that he's telling people. So now that I'm thinking about it, now that you mentioned that, that's what I'm thinking in my head. If she did something like that, I think she probably could extend this out for a while and end up being
that was
known.
his whole point. Like you said, you're known for this now. You're not going to get away from it pretty easily. Like this is already. I mean, this happened like a month ago, and we're still talking about her up to it. Like,
and I agree that makes. I guess I'd just say maybe he could have propositioned her a little bit differently.
Probably could have. Yeah.
I think he propositioned her the only way he knew how, pretending he was interested in producing a show.
Limited weed.
I got access to a studio.
Yeah, because he was kind of saying that she should do it on his network.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll fund you. We'll put together. I get to be backstage just like Donald Trump. Hey, check it out! It's Cool Arrow. He's one of the main characters in our comic book that was released this week. It was Cool Arrow and this character right here, Swoop. So screen capture this and read it at your leisure. All about these characters. Or you can go to rosalescomics.com and explore the timeline of our superhero universe with all the details available of how we're putting it all together. So there's that, guys. A little bit of a promo action going on there at the last minute. Austin, I want to thank you for showing up when you did.
For being late, man.
No. You come when you can. Everybody does. Some people come later than others. Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. I made you spit.
Yeah.
Made him Haktua.
I'll be on Bill Maher in 2 weeks, guys. Catch me on the Club Random podcast.
There you go. We'll be smoking weed and some other stuff. That's what's going down.
Yeah.
It's my place.
Let's see. What was I going to do next week? What I say we were going to talk about next week?
I think we had some other.
Yes, they're involving Red Hulk for sure. Something involving Red Hulk for sure next week.
You want to talk about Red Hulk next week?
You
Okay.
mentioned it. No, you mentioned it.
I mentioned Red Hulk. Did I?
You mentioned
I
something
think we
about
did
like,
something along the lines of the Captain America.
yeah, like Captain America. Like, yeah, I'm on the damn show. What's going on?
Captain America Booty Soldier?
Oh,
No, wait,
yeah.
that's a Bill Maher thing.
Somewhere in our Marvel discussion there, we somehow said we needed to save something for next.
Oh,
week's
that's
episode.
right. Yeah,
told you.
let's see.
Bob
Captain
was
America.
on my side for once.
Captain America spoilers is what it is.
Yes. Just don't let all my white friends know, Warren. Okay, I can't have that.
Oh no, I don't tell the clan anything.
We're going to be talking about the Captain America spoilers that Anthony Mackie himself may have spilled that nobody's talking about from his interviews at the Comic-Con, the Comic-Con panel specifically, where he was up there with all of the other cast members. So we'll go over that. We'll analyze it. We'll break it down. We'll make it into far much more than what it is. And we'll enjoy that. We'll talk about Skibbity Toilet and how it's getting produced as a film, produced and directed by Michael Mann. So there's going to be a lot of spinning around the Skibbity Toilet.
Michael Bay.
Sure, him too. And we'll talk about AEW and WBD and how their exclusivity has passed, and now AEW can shop their shows around to anybody willing to put it on one of their networks. So this and so much more of whatever comes next week, we will talk about and discuss amongst ourselves. And you're welcome to eavesdrop on us and comment in the in the comment section. Like and subscribe, please do. And if you like the show, like and subscribe. If you don't like it, keep your opinion to yourself. We're gonna call it a day as soon as I can find the right outro. There it is.
In your eyes 風がそっとささやきつけて君と 過ごす未来描くよどんな困難さえ乗り越えてそばにいたいから決して終わらないラブストーリー君の